That is fucking shameful levels of editing. Did no one at the time think to ask? Okay, it's fine to make mistakes, it's fine to make errors. I guess for me, when it's involving the destruction of someone's potential online career and livelihood, that's such an enormous mistake. I don't know how you can really meaningfully come back from that in a way that I would think differently about this. What is that I've just seen? Wilbur Soot. Oh, well, what's this, Mr. Soot? Hey? This dude deserves every ounce of cancellation he's gonna receive. I've been meaning to do this for a while, and I figured we'll do it now. We're going to have a look at the drama, because I've never looked at the Slazzo stuff before. It's only like a 30-minute video. Just have a look and see what the fuck happened, because I literally don't know. And then we'll look at his well, abuse allegations. There's not massive amounts of information yet. But yeah, there's some stuff to look at. And I think it's kind of a precursor. This is kind of like the Prologue. Is that a word? The Prologue. So yeah, anyway, let's have a look. Let's see what this this allegation stuff was about, and then we'll get into the new stuff. It is, of course, a Turkey Tom video. It's about as good as I think I could find to cover it all succinctly, because obviously there's lots of different information spread about.
I'd like to start this video off by saying that it deals with rather sensitive topics like sexual abuse and rape. If that bothers you, which is completely understandable, then I would not recommend going any further than this. Additionally, please do not attack or harass any of the people mentioned in this video. It will include some rather harsh criticism, but that doesn't mean you should send hate to any of the parties involved. Now to the
thanks for level 25.
I'm make a video regarding this situation. A lot of the things being said are just blatantly untrue, and this makes me sound like a monster, and if it did happen, I would be a monster. I guess the thing I'm most confused about in this whole thing is why would she lie?
We are tonight.
Intro by Jay Aubrey. Oh, that's funny, isn't it? Isn't Jay Aubrey Giga Soy now? We watched that video of his the other day, and it was alright. It wasn't too bad, but there were some moments that were clearly just totally soy infused.
Night's entertainment. Bippity boppity boopity, here's the fucking scoopity. As for this current drama, let's meet the players. Stay with me here as it'll all come together in a bit. Slazzo, YouTube commentator who used to make videos about Jake Paul turned Reddit channel who makes videos where he reads off of Reddit. We've talked about him before on the Chicken Chat show, but that was about his content, which is completely unrelated to today's tale. Che, Twitter artist with plenty of connections in the YouTube community, namely among commentators and other teenage Twitter artists, as well as being Slazzo's ex-girlfriend, and the entire commentary community. But predominantly, the Reddit crew, comprised of King Ani, a parent Turkish soft girl who is super nice and totally not faking her constant genial attitudes for e-fame, Blues Dank, British Trap, reformed cyberbully, and terrible content creator, the Mimi Man himself, and Weast, uncivilized internet ape and cultural degenerate. There are plenty of smaller players involved, but those are the big unbased men in the house today. And of course, there's me and my associates, Pimpsy, Slacker TV, and Turkey Tom to Jay Aubrey. Now that we've met our contestants, let's set the stage. On June 10th, Shay posted a tweet reading, "Why I haven't been posting and what's been going on." The post detailed how she had been, in her eyes, abused by Slazzo, or Michael as we can also call him, during a relationship that they had which had begun in 2016.
Uh-oh. Abused. Someone else has been accused of abuse. I wonder what that's going to look like, eh?
That's great, Chud. But Daddy DeOrio is the sexiest man of all time. Fire, sparkles, sparkling heart, hot face. Here's my prime sub.
Thank you for the prime sub.
And ended in 2017. While the entire thing could be read in full, we'll just give you the highlights.
I had recently been hearing some comments from mutuals and friends that Slazzo had been acting strange and had made some people uncomfortable, and I needed to speak out. I have been silent about this. For almost 3 years now, after a lot of consideration and talking to my closest friends along with considering police involvement, I have decided to come out. During our time together, Michael was incredibly demanding of sexual favors and would often guilt or force.
Slazzo sent a message saying it's rape time. Literally don't give two fucks about that. That sounds like a fucking joke. Unless you seriously think that someone over a text message was saying, "I'm going to rape you, it's rape time." I mean, that's just fucking ridiculous. How on earth would you even facilitate that over Discord?
Forced me into situations to which I was not comfortable. We lived 3 hours away from each other by train, so most of the time it was our only contact. I had expressed to Michael that I would rather wait until I was 16 to have sex, which in the end never happened. Michael, on our first date, touched me in a cinema despite me never kissing someone before. I'd assumed this was normal, although I was uncomfortable by it.
I was 14 to 15 and he was 16 to 17. But it's so crazy looking back on this with my own eyes. When I tend to be quite skeptical of allegations because they often are full of shit. But I always give them a fair shake. But also with a 2024 lens. And you look at this and you think, yeah, this is not worth my time. This is a total irrelevance, right? Even if some of this was true, presuming he's not raped or something, like, oh, a young guy is a bit awkward and uncertain about how to engage in certain behaviors. I mean, yeah, obviously. What the fuck? Like, of course. This is like young people relationship shit, right? Go and tell your fucking parents, you know? Who cares? Why are you bringing this to the public eye? This is fucking ridiculous.
And let it happen. Our second date was much of the same, him asking me for a blowjob and trying to undo my bra in a public park. Again, I was uncomfortable. There were many times that I would say no or even cry, and I was never taken seriously, and he would move my hands to touch himself while I cried, or touch me. Michael controlled almost every aspect of my life, and I was reduced to thinking I was nothing more than a sex object. This was my first relationship, and my first example of what I was to believe a relationship to be.
Yeah, everyone involved is a minor. Right? Even if some of this is true. I mean, I don't know if all of it's true anyway, regardless. But if some of it is true, yeah, this is all minor stuff. This is all for that to be dealt with. You grow up, you make mistakes, you do stupid stuff. No one here should be hauled over the coals for any of this, right?
Lost a lot of my friends, opportunities, and time because of what happened, and I don't want this to happen to someone else.
And at the end of the TwitLonger, there's an imager link with plenty of screenshots to back up your statements. The TwitLonger, combined with the screenshots, spread like wildfire. Likes were in abundance, plenty of people screenshots to back up your statements. The TwitLonger, combined with the screenshots, spread like wildfire.
Dude. I mean, this is pretty crazy considering the ages of all involved. But again, this doesn't come... I mean, how old was he at this point? 16 or 17 or something? I mean, dude, come on. I'm not going to fucking, you know, annihilate a minor themselves for sending a message that is likely a joke, or... It's probably not a fetish thing. It's probably more of a joke, right? But yeah, I mean, dude, this is insane. I'm sure that I'm sure that lots of people have done this, and what, bro? The fact that this got taken as serious as it did with the ages of everyone involved is fucking retarded, bro.
Likes were in a
pretty bad joke. Oh, you're telling me that 16-year-olds make inappropriate bad jokes that they shouldn't? Wow! Oh my god! Lock this guy up for the rest of his life. He's basically like Gary fucking Glitter.
Abundance, plenty of people retweeted it, and seemingly every little boy and girl under the sun came out in support of Che, and to condemn Michael, of course. Hundreds of YouTubers came out publicly against him, too many to count, honestly. They were very open about their distaste for Slazzo. Then came the videos, of course, with—
I would send that to a woman, as a laugh, okay? Because it's funny, yes. Well, obviously, not your opening gambit, okay? That's pretty ballsy. But when you've got like a good rapport with someone, and they know your kind of humour, saying something like that is totally fine. It doesn't matter. You know, who fucking cares, dude? It's rape time. You better believe it. No balls. Wow, I've said some crazy shit as a first Tinder message in my past. Oh, dude. Oh, anyway, we're not going to get into that now. But yeah, I mean, I don't really care that much about that sort of message. And especially considering they're young, literally, who fucking cares, bro?
Flashy thumbnails, and oh my, was there a lot of them.
Here he's starting to paint a picture that he is a destructive person in this relationship. Very manipulative.
So on this screenshot right here, Slazzo says, alright, I'm sorry, I want sex more than you can—
Oh my god, right, I see the problem too. This is all the slop. This is all like the slop commentary channels, you know? Like, there are, you know, people call my content slop, okay? Which I understand, I don't mind that much, I get where people say shit like that. But true slop is, you know, very baseline takes over gameplay, not really digging into it or talking about it that much, in a broad sense. Thank you very much for the super chat. I appreciate it for the power bill. But yeah, it's like, dude, Bow Blacks, for example, Blows Blacks. No, some of Blows Blacks' videos have been useful. They're not as bad as this. This is fucking next level. I don't know why I keep calling them Blows Blacks, though. I don't know why I do that. Anyway, so it's just like you play a game, you just talk, you don't really give, like, significant takes of your own. you just kind of go over the baseline stuff of it and talk about that in a very broad sense. It's not particularly, you know, compelling or interesting. It's the kind of thing that people click on because they want like a summary of the drama, not because they actually want to hear what you've got to say and hear your takes on things, you know? So yeah, that's the that's the issue with these sorts of channels, right?
Okay, that's wonderful.
Hey,
money off depressed
thank
people?
you for the $10 Shogun.
Legends for Chud to buy a new PC.
And Simpleton, thank you for the $2.
But how do I make money off depressed people?
When I get my new place, I'll be getting a new setup, I think. But anyway, that's probably, you know, up to a year away at this point. I need to save some more money. And I need to wait for interest rates to come down. But we'll be getting a new setup when I move. And by the way, someone said earlier, don't show Kiwi Farms your house. I mean, you know, I don't think people on Kiwi Farms are that interested in doxing me anyway. But even so, I'm not going to show my whole house. I'm just going to show like a wall or something. So don't worry about that, guys. Anyway, come on. Right, now we're getting back into it. So this is the point we're cutting back in. Go. Oh, wow, look at this. All these channels talking about it. Wowee.
And then you go down below and he also says, it's fine, it's just like, I want sex so much all the time.
Most now deleted, but don't worry, we downloaded them.
Which truly show the disturbing extent of his abuse.
Slazzo has admitted to what he has done, ladies and gentlemen. This is no longer a situation that you can say that the screenshots are fake.
Behind the scenes, me and the rest of my proletariat compatriots were hard at work, archiving, downloading, and screenshotting. Rest assured, we and the rest of the YouTube community congregating on Twitter fucking got him. Right from the start, this all seemed rather dodgy for a number of reasons. The first being vagueness. Most of these statements are rather vague, and most
has been acting strange. Slazzo, when a relationship, can you talk to anything in a provocative way? Michael's incredibly demanding of sexual favors and would often guilt or force me into situations I was not comfortable with. Again, very I mean, even, dude. All those fucking hormones and shit, right? Yeah, of course. People, you know, are not perfect actors in those situations. So this idea that it's really bad that a 16-year-old is doing something that's potentially sexually aggressive is absurd. And it just is totally irrelevant. And it should all be kept very private and should not be something that's for the public to fucking, you know, deal with in the court of public opinion.
Lack proof. The few specific instances that she does mention tend to have a few screenshots that could be loosely interpreted as having to do with what she's talking about, but a few of them have also been deliberately cropped or context has been removed. And so my revolution.
Wait, what was this?
But a few of them have also been
Oh, no. Yes, but you will like it, so don't interrupt, sad face. I love you too. Dude, that is fucking shameful levels of editing. Did no one at the time think to ask, why is it so cut so thinly? Why is there not more context here that maybe might show them saying, I love you after, clearly indicating this is likely some sort of fucking joke? Fuck me, dude.
Deliberately cropped or context has been removed.
That's
and so my revolutionaries and I lied dormant, in wait of more news. We watched Michael be cast out into the abyss by his friends and associates, and most importantly his fans, calling him plenty of disgusting names that you probably wouldn't want to assign to anyone. In the middle of this controversy, Keemstar reached out to Slazzo for his thoughts on the subject. His response was rather vague, but in sum, he said that the situation had been resolved months before.
Joe and I resolved this whole thing. Thank you for the $2, Simpleton. Joe and I resolved this whole thing between ourselves a few times now, and I'm not sure what I can do anymore. I've apologised to her on multiple occasions. We even met in person once, and I tried to put this to bed there. During which she said that she could tell I'd changed for the better, and even mentioned getting back together again if she and her current boyfriend don't work out. Dude, and we're trusting this woman. A bed hopper. Or if my current boyfriend doesn't work out, I'll get back to you. Again, a product of them all being young, to be honest. But fuck me, dude. Oh, dude. Looking at stuff like this, I wonder if... I mean, not... You know, there's lots of people that talk about it. It's not just me. Okay, lots of people do. But it's like the people that do talk about this stuff and are critical of people that come up with allegations. You know, like, if that didn't happen, and if that trend didn't happen, would people still be getting fucking Giga cancelled for nothing? Do you know what I mean? I feel like now people have got a bit of a shot at least. I still think it's bad. But there's a bit of a shot to maybe not get completely eviscerated and wiped off the face of the earth. But yeah, I mean, this is shameful, dude. This is the kind of thing that if it was released now, I would expect everyone to look at and go, there's nothing really to this. This is all bullshit or whatever, you know? Nvidia is up over 3% pre-market. The gains are crazy. What are you all waiting for? Oh my god, dude. Being young is an explanation, not an excuse. An excuse for what? Oh my god, you people are so disgusting. What do you mean, an excuse for what? What did he do that was so bad? He didn't do anything. The Slazzo drama was a huge factor in better coverage. This was our equivalent of Dylan Burns' allegation. Oh, I see. Okay, got it. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's probably a good way of looking at it. I remember the Dylan Burns Prime Kai stuff was a big eye-opener for people. And it was like, fuck me, this is pretty crazy.
Che had expressed interest in getting back together, and there were things in her statement which were false, but he didn't want to rush to the topic. Rather,
Oh, sorry, my bad. You meant the chick, did you? Okay. All I'm saying is, like, all the people involved in this are young. They should never have come out publicly. And I would presume that the girl involved was probably gaslighted by a bunch of retards. That's my guess. There were already people behind the scenes telling her to come forward, even though she didn't need to, and there was nothing there.
he chose to lie in wait to do it right. I tipped my fedora.
Michael contacted me on May 27th prior to Drama Alert after learning that I was going to come forward with my experience with him. He did not deny the claims as shown in the attached screenshot. The screenshots and his response show that he has apologized to me multiple times and believed that me posting my experience would have no positive outcome for anyone. Nothing can justify what he did as it still happened to me and he can't ever take it back. He says that things were lied or taken out of context, but never denies his actions and instead reiterates that he's apologized to me.
Screenshots of a conversation were linked at the end of this, where Slazzo expresses that he doesn't feel that any of the information needs to be made public.
The news is going to break soon, but yeah, Slazzo is a major rapist. What? That's fucking insane, dude. Slazzo's a major rapist. And dated a 14-year-old when he was 17 a while back. So yeah. Oh my god, dude. That's like that age manipulation thing. Where the age, basically what happens is someone says, oh, this person was like, I don't know, 15, 16, right? And this person was 17, 18, right? And they always pick the most extreme ends of the age bracket to make it sound worse. Oh, it was a 15 and 18-year-old. And it's like, well, what was the actual ages then? Because, you know, it can make a big difference at that small an age. Like, a couple of years could mean potential pedo shit, you know? Potentially. But, no, this is absurd. Yeah, Shovel and Katie perfected this strat. Yes, exactly. Fucking hell, dude. Major rapist. That is crazy. This is what they sent me. Do you know anything about it? Yeah, I don't know why it has to be public.
Big surprise. Here, people continue to support Che, and all is well for her. The Reddit crew continued to clown on him, saying that they were planning to make a joke to clown on him in a video, and that innocent people don't stay silent for this long. The next day, Slazzo released his response.
But I do have plenty of evidence from very early on in the relationship where she clearly made no intention to wait until 16. Now this confused me when I read it at first because it's not really how it happened. In fact, she was actually the one who brought up the entire idea of doing anything in the cinema.
Oh my god. But maybe we can have some fun in the cinema. I hope so. I hope so too. I can't wait to see what's going to be so amazing. So he totally destroyed the whole narrative about it then. Fuck me, dude.
This video detailed how Che had lied about many of the things in her TwitLonger.
This isn't the impression that I was under. I was under the impression from these screenshots here.
Well, look, far be it from me to defend a woman, okay? I just think that, yes, obviously she plays some responsibility in this, but I'm sure that there were people that were gassing her up and saying like, no, you don't understand, this is really bad. What he's done to you is basically this, and this. So you've got to come out publicly to protect other people or something like that.
Here that she's had at least 2 boyfriends and 1 girlfriend before we ever met.
The large amount of statements made in Che's TwitLonger contradicted screenshots that were provided in Slazzo's response, and unless you want to believe that they're all fake, which I highly doubt, then it's safe to say that Che lied about a large amount of what she said in her TwitLonger. This doesn't admonish Slazzo of everything. He was obviously a bad boyfriend, and I don't doubt that at all, as Michael himself said it. And Che obviously does feel a lot of real pain about her relationship, but that doesn't make him evil or a bad person. It's no surprise that a 16-year-old...
Yeah. We were saying earlier that, you know, this was at the start of the Me Too stuff. But, like, and that's fine. I get that there was a context there, but it just shows that you can't just jump on board one way or another, regardless of what the discourse around it is. You need to really look at each case and, you know, especially if you're going to make a video about it. I mean, Jesus, man. This guy got buried by a mountain of glup shito commentary retards, you know, claiming he did all this terrible stuff without even hearing his side. There was an entire group chat of people who were actively competing with Slazzo in viewership, gassing Che up. Allegations that Alex wrote parts, edited the final draft. Right, okay. See, Nicholas can give us the inside scoops that maybe I don't know.
World's first relationship didn't go that well, and that there are a number of issues in it. It's a real shame that it didn't go well, but it's also clear that none of this ever needed to be publicized at all, and all of these issues had been worked out privately before Che decided to come forward with all the information, which obviously begs the question.
In this whole thing is... Why would she lie?
Why would Che release this information publicly about Slazzo and say all these things that were blatantly untrue? Some would say for clout or e-fame, but there's really not much to gain from the situation. Even if Michael had genuinely done all of what she accused him of doing, she likely would only be momentarily relevant and then go back to enjoying the same audience that she had previously entertained on Twitter. So let's analyze this a bit. At the beginning of the TwitLonger, Che states that
I had recently been hearing some comments from mutuals and friends that Slazzo had been acting strange and had made some people uncomfortable.
The key part here is that Che had been told by people she was familiar with that he had been acting strange and making others feel uncomfortable.
And I needed to speak out.
She also states in the last line of the TwitLonger that she didn't want what happened to her to happen to other people. And while the meaning of this is...
Wait, what's that? I was saying it depends on the context, including maturity, power, psychology, and that it's not all about age. And that if a 27-year-old was with a 20-year-old, I would have a few questions. Chud called me a retarded pedophile for saying this. Did I say that? Oh God, that is. Yeah. If you've got questions about a relationship between 2 adults of that nature, you're a retarded pedophile. I stand by that. I am correct.
Somewhat muddied now that we know a lot of it was a straight up lie. We can infer that she meant...
Bro, you're talking about a 20 and a 27-year-old. They could feasibly be in numerous situations where they're going to hang out and be with each other. Makes perfect sense. The life experience isn't that crazy that it's that different, right? Like, you're 27, you're working with 20-year-olds in an office, or you go out to a bar, maybe not in the US because of the age thing, but, you know, you're meeting 20-year-olds at a bar. You get married. Dude, it is an insane thing. What matters is there any abuse or power shit that is actually being invoked or utilized? I'd have a few questions. Are you... Okay, this is how your questioning should go, you fucking nonce. Okay? Are you both adults? Yes. Is there any abuse? No. Done. End of conversation. What questions could you possibly have for a 27-year-old dating a 20-year-old? That's insane. There's nothing to ask. There's no meat on the bone. There's nothing. None of your business. Mind your own fucking shit.
That Slazzo had the potential to take advantage of people or something along those lines. Back in the hacker room, me and the boys were hard at work trying to work out people's motivations for this and connecting all the screenshots together. And by reaching out to a few other members of the community, we managed to gather a large amount of evidence that painted a pretty accurate picture. First of all, I actually messaged someone on Twitter I know who knows a few of the main players involved in regards to the situation, hoping to get more info about it. They provided this screenshot, and through messaging a few other people...
Okay, what the fuck is this? With events coming up, I want to make sure no one else associates with him. Oh, wait. Quite was involved. Wait a second. Quite was involved in this. And then he had allegations against him. I wish I'd have known that. I don't like seeing young people taken advantage. Oh my God, dude. Soynod, yeah, young people getting taken advantage of is bad. Yeah, I agree. But holy fucking shit, dude. Can we not do the fucking... All I care about is young people getting taken advantage of. When you talk about a 20-year-old and a 27-year-old. Now, that's quite a surprise. Oh, you're saying Quite had a segment where he apologized to Slazzo. I mean, that's nice and all, but like, it's like, it'd be nice if you'd have done that before you got allegations against yourself, right? Like, you should, apropos of nothing, be able to come to the conclusion that what you did was wrong. Maybe he did and I didn't see it. I don't know. I don't know that much about it, but fuck me, dude. That's insufferable.
When speaking to iNabber, I learned that this chat was essentially dedicated to Che, and people had been adding and removing various members of the community in the interest of spreading word around and informing them as to what was going on. I also learned that Che and Hyojin are best friends, which probably should have been obvious from the various tweets that Hyojin made that were some of the absolute worst offenses of anything that I have ever seen. A word of advice, Hyojin, I'd go back to...
Oh, he did apologize in 2019. Okay, fair enough. A couple of weeks late. Right, okay.
Begging for money for makeup instead of talking about anything remotely serious. I don't think you're I don't think you're very capable of it. It's interesting that no one else has come out in the heat of the situation to explain that Slazzo has been acting weird, as this would be the time to provide evidence and explain their sides of the story, if they were worried that Slazzo had been trying to use them for some kind of gratification. But at this point, it's unlikely that these people actually exist, and more accurately, they were probably entirely fabricated as a means to smear Slazzo and give Che motivation to speak out on this topic. Sure, it could have been King Ani or Blues Dank, and I'm willing to bet.
Oh, so they even wait. So they made up this idea that there were other people too in order to bolster their own claim. This is a total fucking hatchet job. That's shocking. Bro, that's despicable. That is literally despicable shit. Everyone that touched this should have been fucking eviscerated. I remember speaking to Nicholas about this, and Nicholas was talking about doing some sort of like, you know, commentary Goon Squad Voltron, where all the videos dropped on ImAllexx all at once. But after seeing this and the level of shitfuckery these guys are up to, I'm like, well, no, it's totally deserved. You know, they all deserve to get absolutely fucking wrecked. Like, what shameful behavior.
Bad that they supported her and wanted her to get the word out, but I think Hyojin probably played a larger role. Multiple people have told me that she's a pretty vindictive and toxic person behind the scenes, and according to this screenshot, she was planning to ruin him and make sure that no one associated with him and get the entire community on board with backstabbing him before anything was even made public. Likely to try and make sure the story was straight across the board and that everyone was in line. After all, one crack in your narrative and it all falls apart. Which brings us back to the Reddit crew, Neanderthal and Avian. We have multiple examples of tweets from people like King Ani, and now deleted tweets from Dolan Dark himself explaining that this situation had been going on behind the scenes for an extended period of time, and that both of them had helped Che lie about Slazzo and come out about the abuse that she experienced while in a relationship with him. People like Dolan Dark, who publicly shamed him and supported the narrative that he was an abuser, and then when pressed on people like Dolan Dark...
Dolan Dark as well. I don't actually know the guy's content that much. God, there's something... The glasses got like a thing on it. I don't know what it is. That's crazy, dude. Alex had 3 allegations locked and loaded. He leaked them to me in a Game of Thrones type convo. I took those, called Slazzo, and filmed an interview confronting him while Alex was in the States. Based. Dude, that is... Dude, this is fucking disgusting, man.
Dark, who publicly shamed him and supported the narrative that he was an abuser, and then when pressed on the issue, he said that she wouldn't lie because he knows her personally. This is the
wait.
He said that
Welcome
she wouldn't
to Chud Nation.
Don't
hey,
carry on
thanks
with
for the sub. We'll do.
content.
I'll answer this in a second. I'm at work. I need to head on break. Don't think I'm ignoring you. I don't know, man. I guess it was just a story combined with how different and manipulative he was in DMs and knowing her personally. That made me conclude the whole thing was 100% true, or at least the sexual abuse part. There was clear evidence in the DMs of the gaslighting. Oh, no worry. Okay. I 100% admit in hindsight that shit should have stayed private between mutuals. She cried in my fucking arms! The shit should have stayed private between mutuals. I'm guessing just human nature kicked in and people really wanted Che to have a voice, which I don't think is a bad thing. Sexual assault victims should be heard. Wrong! Bzzt. Wrong! Not correct. Wrong answer. It's just unfortunate about the discrepancies in the stories. Unfortunate. Yeah, unfortunate some innocent dude got absolutely fucking eviscerated for no reason. It's just unfortunate about the discrepancies in the stories, but all the main allegations really come down to his word versus hers. So I believe there's never really going to be a resolution on the whole thing. Fuck me, dude. That's... It's just... Anyway, this is years old drama. We're only watching it because of these new allegations. I've not heard enough about Alex yet to really say. I've only heard little people like Nicholas has told me about it before, obviously, and stuff. My guess is that I'm probably going to think, okay, I'm going to give the whatever allegations exist and come out a fair shake, but Alex is getting his just desserts. So that's probably going to be my take, I'd imagine.
Lie because he knows her personally. This is the level we're on. That just because you feel that someone wouldn't act a certain way, that they don't. You're in denial. They're all in denial. You fucking pathetic idiot.
I don't want to believe that Shay is just an outright liar. Maybe Shay intentionally left out some...
Why not? Who cares about fucking victims? No! No! I'm sick of this bullshit. Ignore victims. How do we even know they're a victim? They've not proven anything. Ignore victims. Do not support them, okay? If anything, antagonize them. Bro, what the fuck, dude? Did I really say that? What the fuck, man? I say some crazy shit sometimes, dude. Antagonize them. Mad, dude. When did I say that? That's AI or something, I think.
Stuff to demonize them more.
Well, Weast, my man, I'm sorry to say that. Just because you don't want to believe that she lied doesn't mean that she didn't lie. ImAllexx, being the slippery fuck he is, actually acknowledged Michael's response publicly. He says that he wants to make it brief, but then spends 2 minutes saying basically nothing.
Michael's video has come out where he's debunked some of the things that were put in there.
Here, he also brushes over the fact that she lied as if it's...
Okay, sorry, I missed that because I was just having a laugh about my own jokes.
ImAllexx, being the slippery fuck, someone wouldn't act a certain way, that they don't. You're in denial. They're all in denial. You fucking pathetic idiot.
I don't want to believe that Shay is just an outright liar. Maybe Shay intentionally left out some stuff to demonize them more.
Well, Weast, my man, I'm sorry to say that. Just because you don't want to believe that she lied doesn't mean that she didn't lie. ImAllexx, being the slippery fuck he is, actually acknowledged Michael's response publicly. He says that he wants to make it brief, but then spends 2 minutes saying basically nothing.
Michael's video has come out where he's debunked some of the things that were put in there.
Here, he also brushes...
I don't think this
okay, I'm still paying attention.
In general have a modicum of credibility.
Harvey Weinstein. Thank you very much for the 333, King.
Over the fact that she lied as if it's a minor detail. How could you possibly side with someone who damaged a man's reputation and literally slandered him over a relationship that he had when he was 16 years old?
I don't think he's innocent at all. Che may not also be innocent and may have hid stuff and used jokes to try and maybe push a certain agenda. But at the same time, the stuff that Michael admitted to is stuff that makes me not want to be friends with somebody who is capable of doing those things, even the things he admitted to.
Stop saying she's a 14-year-old. He was...
Dude. When people are this slight... Dude, this... Obviously, I don't know enough about this to have the same feeling about it, right? But this makes me feel like, I don't know, when you see some person come out strongly against someone and then they get just a search and you're like, yeah, get fucked, bitch. Like, yeah, obviously, I will always give it a fair shake and do my same views on it and stuff. But yeah. But yeah, I mean, dude, like, if you're going to do this, it's only fair that eventually it comes around to bite you and then you're in the fucking hot seat and you've got the allegations against you. And those people that you were, you know, referencing and alluding to and giving red meat to are going to turn on you now. You're in the piranha tank. Get eaten, bitch.
If it seems like victims lied, take action to make their allegations true. ChudLogic 20.
I never said that. Oh, that's next year's. Yeah, probably. Anyway, that's probably me next year. Thank you for the 333. Dude, the British ones are always slimy.
Okay, that's wonderful.
Dude.
But how do I make money off depressed people?
Thank you for the $2, Simpleton. ImAllexx should slip and slide. Okay. Anyway, yeah, these people deserve. Honestly, it is just justice for me. It's funny when someone is like this and they get some allegations against them, and they're in the hot seat, and the piranhas that they fed everyone else to, they fall into the piranha tank, and then they're going to get fucking eaten. It's like, do you help them up? Why should you? Like, fuck them. Yeah, enjoy the piranha show, bitch. From the inside this time.
16. There's nothing wrong with that, you fucking idiot. And to make one thing clear, staying silent for an extended...
T celebrates 23 months of membership. When will you get the Carl Pilkington haircut?
Soon.
Very funny guy and smart. Man,
want to lose my hair.
Heart, kiss mark. Man,
thank you.
Woman, heart, kiss
okay.
mark.
I get the gist.
Man,
thank you.
Period of time, or not immediately denying something, does not make you guilty of it. Stop pushing this narrative. By the same logic, you could say that Shay was a liar because she stayed silent for so long. But of course, that would be disgusting and unreasonable for you to say. Tragic. You were also quick to condemn him. Why defend her when we knew that she not only embellished but lied? Literally lied to everyone, and some of it could be true for all we know, but that doesn't really matter. How are we to trust anything she says when she lied and there's proof of it publicly? And barely anyone has apologized on the inside either. In fact, almost no one that was involved in the situation has apologized at all for casting out their friend. Quite kinda apologized, I guess, but...
Oh, this is Quite's apology. Just want to say that I've seen Slazzo's response, and the reason I haven't said anything about it yet is because I'm trying to take my time to collect my thoughts and to draw my own conclusions properly. Analyze everything that's on the table kind of meme now that there's more there. But I'm presuming that before this, when it all came out against the guy, he was jumping on board with it and saying like, yep, this is conclusive and this is bad, right? Like... What? you fucking... This isn't an apology. This is you trying to cope with the fact that you totally fucked up and not just coming clean about it, you know? Yeah, exactly. He was in the group chat, for fuck's sake. We just saw in the screenshot he was there, participating in this, you know, cancel pig shit. Okay, but look. It's not even about the apology even, right? It's just... You've got to demonstrate that your process has changed in some way and that you're not going to do the same thing again. And I feel like with Quite, it's probably just the fact that he had allegations against him that opened his eyes to it, you know? That's probably the thing that really, you know, made him see it clearly. Yeah, there's nothing here. There's nothing here at all. This is a complete slinking away from the responsibility of your actions, you know? When did he do the same shit again? Yeah, but the point I'm making is, because he, not too long after all this happened, ended up having allegations against him, right? Like, you can't really judge it from there, because he's then had his own experience, which has opened his eyes to it. So it's like, it's difficult, because, you know, I think this initial reaction tells me enough to know that if this hadn't have happened to him and he hadn't have had his own allegations, he may not actually have learned from it, you know? But yeah. Oh, was it a 4-year gap? Oh, okay, I thought it was, fair enough. I thought it was sooner than that, okay. Well, listen, if he did learn from it, good, sure. You know. But yeah, I'll take the L on that then. I'll take the L. I'm taking the L, guys. I'm taking the L. Okay. Oh, I didn't realize it was so far away. Was it 2023? I thought it was earlier than that. But yeah, okay. Fair enough. Maybe he did learn. Stylo is saying that there's other things, but I don't. Let's just say, okay, maybe he learned from it, maybe he didn't. Okay, I'm gonna err on the side of maybe he did, and then his own allegations really cemented it. But this initial response is pretty shit. And rather than just take the L and go, okay, I fucked up here and I didn't do it correctly, he's now doing the, oh, I need to take my time and collect my thoughts. Whereas when she was on the other foot, he didn't do that, and he just jumped straight in and started fucking, you know, accusing this guy of being a terrible person.
but, you know, he hasn't really picked a side yet. Furthermore, Shay is not helping anyone here. She's not helping Slazzo by damaging his reputation and accusing him of something that will literally follow him for the rest of his life. She's not helping herself by lying about it to make herself look like more of a victim, and Michael look like more of a monster. And she's not helping other actual victims who don't lie about their situation. Just a few months ago, we saw James Charles be accused of something similar, and basically the same situation happened, save for one variable. He was accused of being a disgusting manipulator and using his power for his own gratification. These allegations were then proven to be false, and then everyone who had called him a disgusting manipulator had to apologize for being dumb. I think a lot of YouTubers should take a long look at that Tati video, and take a long hard look at themselves and the way that they treat their apparent friends. Rich coming from the guy who backstabbed his friend as soon as things started looking bad for him instead of just messaging him.
Wait, so ImAllexx was friends with Slazzo as well, is that right? So he was friends with Slazzo, these allegations dropped, and rather than try and speak to him and work through it, figure it out, he just turned on him and started supporting the victim and coming out with their story to just... What an absolutely fucking spineless little wretch. Holy fuck, dude. That's crazy. They were roommates. Fuck. That sounds like him being a shitter and a little fucking wretch. And also probably a bit of the old content temptation, you know? Because as much as I like to talk about the content shit and stuff like that, there are some lines there, right? Like, I mean, you know, like, especially if you're that close to it, you should not be making, like, your content out of that. That should be a, I'm too close to this, I need to pass this off to someone else to look at because I'm too connected, right? Surely. Pretty sure they were right about James Charles. Yeah, okay. Let's not, the problem you've got is this, okay? So allegation 1 happens, and then it turns out that allegation, it hasn't got merit, say. I don't know enough about the James Charles situation 100%, but just a theoretical situation. Allegation 1 comes out, and you look into it, and you talk about it, and there's nothing there, and it's nonsense, and then you move forward, right? And then allegation 2 comes out, and then the people that were backing up allegation 1 act like they're correct and they're in the right. And it's like, but you're not, because your process is still wrong. Regardless of whether you turn out to be right later down the line and there is something that comes out about someone, your process is still incorrect because you were off the mark on dodgy information, right? Rather than actually doing it correctly, you could have come to the conclusion, okay, well, this is wrong. And then when you go out in the future, well, okay, this is right, but that doesn't make allegation 1 correct at that point, right? Do you see what I mean? And people do this fucking constantly. And it's so fucking obnoxious because it's like, just because you happen to be correct accidentally doesn't mean anything because your process is wrong. You're looking at information and coming to the wrong conclusion at a given time, you know? But yeah, that's my understanding of it. The first allegations weren't anything significant, but then the second allegations were worse. And there was something that was condemnable there, right? Anyway.
You loser.
Now, let's discuss Che for a bit. Honestly, I'm not really sure as to what her motives were in this scenario. It might have been for revenge, it might have been for fame, but I do feel that while Slazzo most definitely did some scummy things to her, I feel like this situation should have stayed completely private. Because I think it's fairly obvious at this point that this situation isn't all what it was originally cracked up to be. Slazzo might be many things, but I think it's safe to say that being a full-on rapist is not one of them. And now all the drama-mongering idiots who decided to shove their noses into this situation are in full damage control.
Oh my god, dude. Look at this, man. For fuck's sake, this is disgusting. I'm sorry this happened. It's incredibly brave to speak out about your experience. I hope he doesn't get to continue doing this to other impressionable people. Those messages make me feel ill. Thanks for coming out. God, I hope this dude gets fucking eviscerated by the allegations. I hope the allegations drop in full and he gets fucking destroyed. Okay? That's not going to change my coverage of it. I will still do the fair shake I give everyone. Okay? But I will find it fucking hilarious if this guy gets torn to shreds by the piranhas that he's been fucking feeding for, you know, years up until this point. I don't know what he's done from then, but, you know, I just, dude, I just hate the fact like, people make mistakes and people fuck up, okay? It's fine to make mistakes, it's fine to make errors, you know? I guess for me, when it's involving the destruction of someone's potential online career and livelihood, that's such an enormous mistake. You know, I don't know how you can really meaningfully come back from that in a way that I would think differently about this, you know? Because it's so egregious. Like, it's such egregious actions that are being engaged in here, you know? Like, especially if he, as is being stated here, was at the forefront of this, and he was one of the big participants in bringing about the information to get this guy fucking destroyed. Like, yeah, this is literally just desserts, bro. Enjoy the piranhas. Thanks for coming out about this, Che. I'm so sorry that any of this happened to you, but you stopped any of the victims from potentially having to go through the same thing. Bless you, and I hope you're doing all right. It takes a lot of bravery to come out with something this big. Thank you for letting the community know.
Mode, trying to salvage their respectability in any way that they can, even if it means doubling down. An argument that I have seen floating around is that the only reason Slazzo is making a comeback is because he has more fans than her. Let me make something very clear. Shay was backed by numerous YouTubers, or as our pal Bluestank put it, an entire community. She single-handedly caused Slazzo to lose over 20,000 subscribers within the span of 2 weeks. He was tanking at least 1,000 subscribers a day on YouTube, and Twitter wasn't much better. Large YouTube creators with thousands of followers who combined probably had at least double the subscriber count that Slazzo had were all retweeting Shay and giving her their vocal support publicly. To say things like, oh, the only reason Slazzo is gaining subs back is because he's more popular than she is so ridiculous to me, given the fact that almost everyone in the commentary community, both creators and fans alike, were completely on board with burying Slazzo. Jay might not have had as many Twitter
Oh my god, dude!
alike were completely on board with burying Slazzo. Jay might not have had
What is that I've just seen? Wilbur Soot. Oh, well, what's this, Mr. Soot? Hey? Oh my god, dude. There's no way. Wilbur Soot randomly happens to appear, which is now irrelevant. All these people deserve it, man. They just deserve. They deserve everything they fucking get after they've cheered it on from the sidelines. Everyone there at the public execution cheering it on. And then all of a sudden they get pointed out from the crowd and the noose gets put around their fucking neck. Unlucky, bitch. Oh my god. Thank you for shining light on this. The information will be used to impressionable people about this. You potentially save many more than you realise. You're brave. Dude, you could write a twitlonger, right? You could write a fucking twitlonger. And it could say, maybe not so much now. Actually, no, that's not true. It would still happen now because there's still retards out there, right? You could write a twitlonger that said, I was going to go on a date with this guy, but he didn't turn up on time, and he was 5 minutes late. And you could put that out as a twitlonger. All these fucking retards would be in the replies going, I'm so sorry that happened to you. Oh my god, you're so brave for speaking out about this. Oh my goodness, how could he do this to you? I'm never going to watch him again. I'm going to unsubscribe from him right now. What a disgusting, manipulative abuser, rapist. All these people just, sometimes I think they don't even fucking read it. I think sometimes people don't even fucking bother to read the twitlonger. They just see my experience with XYZ and they want to be seen as on the right side of it. So they just come out and say their shit without even reading it. Because you literally will look, some of these, you read it and you're like, have they even read the same twitlonger? No, they haven't. They've not read it. They've not bothered because they just want to look good, okay? That's why you see these comments and the person is describing, in some cases, a fairly routine, if not uncomfortable, if uncomfortable situation. And all the replies are like she's been gang raped in an Indian fucking police station or something. It's like, what are you on about? It's not that bad. You're acting like she's been gang raped. What is your problem? Problem is, they've not fucking read it.
Might have had as many Twitter followers as him, but she sure as hell had at least the same amount of, or potentially even greater, influence. Even if these YouTubers hypothetically had the best of intentions and just wanted to help their friend out, they still backstabbed another one of their friends without seemingly making any effort whatsoever to try and understand his side of the story. Now, to be fair, it is completely possible Slazzo has done some messed up and shady things behind the scenes. Things that the average public viewer would have no idea about, like incidents involving other girls and so on. Let's say, for the sake of the argument, that he hypothetically did. If these things did happen, why isn't he in jail, or at the very least have been exposed for his scummy behavior before this situation unfolded? If he's really done what he is accused of doing to Che, to other women, then why is it that none of this information has been given to any sort of authority figure? I legitimately don't get it. Do these people not understand that?
Fix your volumes. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I think...
Maybe, just maybe, it would have been a good idea to report this to the authorities instead of making it into a twit longer. The only explanation that I have for this is that there's...
Thank you for the level 12, appreciate it. Again, that's another narrative now that I think really gets kind of more discussion about, is like, why not go to the authorities? Like, some of this stuff you're claiming, and you're not even bothered to go to a fucking police officer, you know?
Simply isn't enough evidence to convict him of anything. And yeah, I'll admit that I am speculating a bit here, but I think the fact that they went to Twitter instead of the police says...
It also, even if you don't have enough evidence, the police will still mark it on their records. Like, for example, there's stories you hear about people who, like... I mean, this is kind of going against what I'm about to say, but there was one person, I think, that had some sort of stuff logged about them. They ended up murdering someone or something like that. But basically, if they'd have done a Criminal Records Bureau check correctly, it would have discovered these reports and it would have prevented them from working at a school. Was it Ian Huntley? I think it was Ian Huntley. That's the guy that murdered those 2 British schoolgirls. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? I'm sure that was probably reported on in America, right? He was a janitor, caretaker for a school. But yeah, the point is it logs it on a file, and then it can be used, you know, against you in some fashion, or at least the authorities know, and then that can be used to give reason for an investigation. If something happens in the future, they can go, oh, hang on a sec, we've gone and looked. There's 2 reports of misconduct, not enough evidence, whatever. Let's look a bit deeper, and then it can help, you know?
A lot about their mindset. Most of the time, commentary drama is fairly harmless, but when it evolves into something as serious as false rape allegations is where I have an issue. Look, I understand wanting to support someone in their time of need, especially when it seems from an exterior standpoint that the person in question was taken advantage of by a person in a greater position of power than them. But you
Sorry, YouTube chat has gone off the screen. That's really... that's mildly annoying. I'll pop you out so I can see you guys, okay? I still see you. I've got you. Guys, I've got you, okay? I see you. I see you. Okay, sorry about that. Right.
Okay, that's
what's that
wonderful.
black woman?
But how do I make money off depressed people?
Did you just say she should go to the police?
Right.
Don't you know about police brutality and systemic racism? A cob?
Very true. Thank you for the 333.
Can't rush to conclusions in these types of situations. Yes, Slazzo is a creep. Yes, he was a bad boyfriend. But he is not a rapist, and he certainly isn't a pedophile.
Okay. Unless, obviously, this is a very succinct video. It doesn't have it all. Was he even a creep? Did he do anything that could be determined as creepy? It all looked like fairly standard, like, young people shit, you know?
Did any of these commentary channels so much as reach out to Michael throughout this whole thing? You know, maybe before publicly accusing him of rape? Maybe wait a bit and see if new information comes out from Slazzo, or possibly DM him for his side of the story? No, they did none of this, and instead they've gone off and made fools of themselves while everyone watches. There's always 2 sides of the story, and this has been proven time and time again, and yet they still don't seem to get it. No matter how solid the evidence may seem at first, you have to wait and be patient. Explore all sides before formulating an opinion. Jumping to conclusions and believing one side automatically is never the best course of action. Most scenarios aren't as black and white as some people would have.
The maximum I remember, Slazzo said he wanted Che to not use antidepressants because they lowered her sex drive. How old was he when he said this? People are so dishonest, man. They're such liars about this stuff. Like, when you're a teenager, you know, when you're 14, 15, 16, 17, you know, you generally have a level of, you know, like, I don't know the right way to put it. You don't, you know, you learn. You have to learn how to act. So you're going to act badly by the standards of someone who's in their 20s or something like that, right? You know, like, okay, let me ask you this. Who here has been a 16-year-old man and has been a bit pushy in regards to sex when they were 16. You're way quieter in the video. Oh, that's probably because my mic's a bit... That should be better, I think. I'm still pushy. Well, you know, you learn that, you know, eventually in a sexual setting, you need to cool your jets a bit, you know? But yeah, I mean, you know, I remember, yeah, being 16, 17 and nothing, not rape, obviously, to be clear. I did not rape anyone when I was 16 or 17, to be clear, okay? But yeah, definitely just like a bit, you know, what's the right word for it? It's pushy. You're just kind of a bit too, you know, the hormones are all fucking popping off and you feel a certain way about it and you're a bit too much. You're a bit too full on, you know? Eventually you mellow out a bit. But yeah, it's just the way that it's what happens. So I can easily imagine that, you know, a 16 or 17-year-old would say to someone, don't take your antidepressants because it lowers your sex drive. Yeah, being a horn dog. Yeah, it's like being a horn dog, isn't it? You know? So yeah, I just don't really think that's that insane that someone would say something like that at that age, you know? I mean, obviously, if someone's older, then you would have thought they'd have learned that that's not really an appropriate thing to say to someone, like their mental health is more important or whatever. Unless you don't believe in mental health, unless you're one of those. Anyway, that being said, yeah, I just don't think there's that much to really say about that beyond, yeah, that's a teenager being retarded,
how do
you know?
I make money off depressed people?
Chat, don't stop graping or Chud won't have anything to talk about.
Thank you for the 333. True. Get out that. No, don't do that.
Have you believe, and having these ridiculous hot takes will only serve to make you look...
Dude, I don't... Dude, I'm so annoyed. Look at this, bro. Look at that. Big chunk of... Oh my God, dude. It's so annoying. Power cuts are so fucking gay. Anyway, it's all good, guys. We're back in business. Thank you very much for watching. But, yeah, I don't know, man. It just seems like really stupid.
Ridiculous.
King Ani said that she would still support her despite this. Weist completely glossed over the fact that Shay lied and didn't apologize for calling Slazzo a fucking rapist. You people are all disgustingly brain dead, and it hurts me to no end. Blues Dank came out with a somewhat decent take on Twitter explaining that the situation was confusing and that he didn't know who to believe, but then he just deleted that and said, despite everything, Slazzo's still a creep, and then he...
Hey, thank you for the $10. Thank you, Clever Nugget. Appreciate that. Hello to you. The video is ignoring the fact... Yeah, that's actually a good point. I'd not even thought about that. So this girl was, what, 14 on antidepressants? Huh? What the fuck, dude? That's crazy. Why?
Deleted that as well, and has stayed silent on the issue since then. As other people in the community caught wind that I was going to talk about the situation on my channel, another person reached out to me, who had actually lived with Hyojin for a decent amount of time. According to them, Hyojin is extremely manipulative.
Because... depression exists. It's just young people being pushy. Boys will be boys after all. Literally a hair away from blaming the woman for wearing a short skirt at this point. Okay, Johnny Mars has just become a contrarian retard who's likely a pedo. Okay, we'll not be responding to them anymore. Okay, I'm sick of it.
And she would pick up this person's dog and drop it on its back because she found it funny. But furthermore, when she moved out of this person's apartment, she lied to multiple people and said that our source had abused their dog.
But yeah, with the depression thing, it's not just, oh, depression exists. It's that if someone is that mentally unwell at that age, like, why are we taking everything they say as read 100%? That's definitely what happened.
Explaining that the situation was confusing and that he didn't know who to believe. But then he just deleted that and said, despite everything, Slazzo's still a creep. And then he deleted that as well, and his state...
Yep, kids are never clinically depressed. That's what it is. Children cannot possibly get depressed. It is impossible for children to get depressed, okay? It is a con to sell more antidepressants, and that's all that it is, right? That's exactly what I think. I do not believe in mental health treatment, okay? I just think people need to think nicer thoughts and everything will be okay.
stayed silent on the issue since then. As other people in the community caught wind that I was going to talk about the situation on my channel,
it's fake.
Another person reached out to me.
All mental illness is fake. It's made up to sell more drugs. That is my position now because I'm annoyed with people who are saying otherwise. Let's continue.
Actually lived with Hyojin for a decent amount of time. According to them, Hyojin is extremely manipulative, and she would pick up this person's dog and drop it on its back because she found it funny. But furthermore, once she moved out of this person's apartment, she lied to multiple people and said that our source had abused their dog instead of her. And here's a DM where this person confronted someone else who was lied to about it, and they seem to acknowledge that Hyojin should be taken with a grain of salt. It's interesting that 3 separate people who I talked to about her use the word psycho to describe her personality, completely independently of each other. You see, initially, ImAllexx was all hush-hush about this situation. He didn't tell anyone anything. His lips were sealed. But when a few large creators with influence became involved and went against the narrative that Alex was trying to push, he cracked. He had 2 Discord calls with smaller members of the community, each over 4 hours long. He spilled some interesting information, some of which was completely unrelated to the topic at hand, and I don't even know if it's true, and I don't have a way to verify it. So I won't go around spreading it and pretending like I do know it's correct, but well, some friend you are, Alex. What were you thinking? As soon as he starts to feel the heat, he spills it all like the little rat he is. And to wrap up this video, normally this is when I say I don't hate any of the people involved and I don't have a problem with them personally, but no, I absolutely do. We've seen time and time again that people are accused of doing things that just are not true, and it's extremely disappointing that people are still believing this shit. Think before you speak. Wait before you make someone out to be something that they're literally not. I've been Chicken Chad. Thanks for watching, and leave me alone.
Dude. Dude, that is an insane situation. I didn't know the ins and outs of it, but yeah. Anyway, that was a derailment, so we need to go back to the other thing that we were watching, which I'm guessing has got more stuff in because it's from later. And then we'll cover what exists of the current ImAllexx allegations. But yeah. You know what, Chud, you're right. I am a contrarian retard. Good. You finally admit it. You finally admit it. Good. Based. Thank you.
Hello, hello.
Oh, you've called yourself Johnny Mirror. Are you saying I'm a contrarian retard? Am I? When am I ever contrarian?
Hello, we are tonight's entertainment.
Wait, what do we watch of this?
Is the 1 year in a less than responsible manner on Twitter and YouTube, mainly in regards to some accusations they made about another creator who I was pretty familiar with, named Slazzo.
Thanks for the $5.
Might be wondering why it took so long to make this response. That's mainly because I wanted a good but belated response. I've got a list of things here that I want to talk about. So I didn't want to rush it. Basically, I didn't want a terrible, crying, early apology, that becomes so infamous.
Now, in this video, I'm going to recap exactly what happened a year ago for anyone new to the story, explain what has happened in the year since then, attempt to correct some mistakes that I made at the time with the drama as a whole, and talk about one of the people involved who has continued to be naughty, 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 as well as an interview with one of those people. Timestamps are in the description if you want to skip the recap. Pretty straightforward, no need to pad out the intro any longer, so buckle up, hit that like button.
Okay, the recap. I think we've just done that, haven't we, pretty much? So yeah, we don't need to watch that bit. Right, let's watch the corrections and reflections.
Alrighty, so, right out of the gate, I have to own up to something that happened during all of this, somewhere that I feel I was wrong. In my original video, I had included a segment where I talked about how someone who was a former friend of Hyojin and used to live with her had messaged me with some information. To sum it up, said Hyojin was essentially a drunken lunatic who would be constantly screaming, and had abused a dog who lived with her at the time. While it was a rather minor point in my video, the news of it spread like wildfire, and a lot of people believed it at the time. The basic purpose of what I was doing here was to bait Hyojin into responding, by saying that it is ridiculous to accuse someone of something based off of a few screenshots. The obvious irony being that, well, she had done the same thing to Slazzo by supporting Shay, spreading her message.
So he was trying to do a bit with that, yeah. No, sure. It was a bit weird to just act like those screenshots were conclusive, but I can kind of see the point, I guess.
Blaming the victims already? I'm sick of these femboys.
Go ahead, go crazy. Thank you for the 333. But yeah, I don't really, I think stuff's got to be presented without that. I just prefer straight down the line. Here's the situation. Boom, 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 boom. Trying to do little bits like that is probably not the best thing to do. But it looks like he's accounting for that.
Message, etc. I barely received any criticism for it at the time, and even since then, it's remained pretty dormant, mostly because a lot of the people were willing to justify spreading information about Hyojin with little proof simply because she had done the same thing to Slazzo, accusing him of being an abuser and sexual assaulter with little to no proof. I gave this justification in my own follow-up video at the time, which was released 2 weeks after the initial upload I did with Slacker TV.
She also responded to me via Twitter, and I'll try to be as brief as possible with this part, as she was already kind of demolished in the replies, but I used
Your core argument for not believing in Che was that DMs are not enough proof. However, all the points against me are also DMs. Your logic is inconsistent, and you're addressing this in bad faith. God, these people are so fucking shameless, dude. They will do the thing, and then when someone else does it to them, they'll call them inconsistent and fucking bad faith. It was a mistake to do it. I don't think you need to do that, right? I think you would just... You would show the DMs, and then in the video itself, you could say, now obviously, you know, to be consistent, I don't think DMs are enough, but by using Hyojin's own logic here, you could denounce Hyojin as this, this, and this purely off the basis of these DMs. That's how you go about doing it in a way that, you know, everything's clear, you're staying consistent and stuff like that. But, you know, this response, dude, is so shameful. Like, you've done something bad, and then someone else does that to you, and you're like, oh, you're inconsistent, and this is bad faith.
Use screenshots to paint her in a bad light while accusing her of doing the same thing. The screenshot that was posted from the group chat about Che was taken out of context, and she just said that she didn't abuse the dog. Well, Hyojin, here's the thing. The point of me using those screenshots and discussing testimony wasn't to say that you are an outright dog abuser, and that also isn't why everyone is calling you one right now. The point was to show that a large number of people consider you to be a psycho, and give you a taste of your own medicine.
While I stand behind the idea that Hyojin didn't have much room to complain about this at the time, considering what she had done, I do want to
he did do that. Wait, he did do that, didn't he? Wait, he did it in the video. Did I miss that? Okay, well, she's got nothing to complain about then.
Here and say that I'm sorry. I don't think that 2 wrongs necessarily make a right. In this case, it caused a lot more strife than it did good, as the accusations had already been debunked against Slazzo, and there wasn't really a reason to
chill
add fuel to the
out.
fire.
What the fuck
It could
is
be argued
this?
that I fumbled with this video. Even though it had overwhelmingly positive support, it wasn't right of me to publish screenshots of her supposed behavior and not take at least partial responsibility for what happened afterwards, being that a lot of people believe she abused dogs. Say what you will about her, but sinking to that same level that they...
Oh, I see. That was the follow-up. Thank you. Okay. Sorry. Okay, so I was wondering, how did I miss that? But no, I didn't. It was in the follow-up. Right. So my point still stands. Do it in the original video. It's not that crazy a thing. It's just a small, you know, amendment, really, more than anything else. And the fact that she was so obnoxious. She is a she, right? The fact this person was so obnoxious in response to that is fucking absurd. Like, shut the fuck up, will you?
was not a good move on my part. False allegations of this nature are not justified. It was poor journalism, and it was poor
Dude, can we
decision-making.
not?
And for that, I'm sorry. I have done better since that event, and I plan to do better in the future in terms of doing proper research and not spreading misinformation. During all this controversy, as Hyojin was getting a lot of criticism and even harassment, she tweeted out saying that she would take her own life. When I saw this tweet, I was somewhat confused as to whether she was joking or being serious. As for
I've already done all the kick stuff on Monday. I've done it all. I don't think there's anything else, is there? I've covered it pretty extensively. Apparently Zerka released a video response. Maybe I can look at that. But yeah, I watched Willie Mack's video, and yeah, I don't think there was anything that I hadn't spoken about. I don't think. But no, it was fun content. But yeah, I don't, you know, maybe, dude, it's very fucking clear they didn't know nor care about the age. It was only when it was called out that they then realized, oh shit, maybe, and they pretended to care about the age. They never fucking cared about it up until then, you know.
For most people, because it's hard to tell when someone is being sincere on social media. But I decided to unlist both of these videos at the time and to make an announcement on Twitter about why I had done it. In a nutshell...
Oh my god, dude.
But I decided to
Update, I've been informed that Hyojin is currently in a mental ward. I understand that she did not make an attempt on her life, but that she still is being held for some time. Dude. Good! Make another video! Finish this bitch off! What the fuck, dude? God, that's insufferable too. You fucking come out and are like, oh no. And then, oh no, I'm in a mental institute now. I've done all this bad shit. Dude, I wasn't even really... When was this? When did this happen? 2019? This before I even started streaming. And I was obviously covering more politics shit back then. So this would not have even been of any notice to me at the time. But yeah, damn, that's crazy.
list both of these videos at the time, and to make an announcement on Twitter about why I had done it. In a nutshell, while I do have a disclaimer on my upload saying that I do not want harassment to occur ever, please don't do it, it's inevitable that some people in my audience are going to go out of their way to tell others to end their lives because of things they did on the internet. Of course, I don't support these guys, but it isn't unfortunate.
Stand back and stand by!
Kind of critical content online, whether it be a video, a stream, or a tweet. A lot of people even try to convince me that she was faking an attempt to end her own life in order to get me to take down the videos or to get people to stop criticizing her, but I saw that as pretty unlikely, and I wanted to take it as seriously as possible. And
No, I'm sorry. People absolutely do this. People want... I mean, look, I'm sure, you know, Turkey Tom doesn't want a fucking death on his hands at the time. He was a bit younger then or whatever. But this very common strategy that people use is they, you know, they'll sow, and they'll love it. And then they start reaping, and all of a sudden it's, oh, you know, no, I'm mentally ill, actually. I'm actually in a mental institute, you know? But yeah. Anyway, this is all old drama. No point getting too hot up about it. Just very annoying to see people use those kind of techniques and strategies.
I'm glad I did. The next day, hashtag love for Hyojin was trending on Twitter as people had come to support her mental health regardless of what she had done. This is a message that I support completely, and I'm sure that since then she's gotten help for whatever she was going through at the time. While I stand by my general message about her and the criticisms that I had, part of criticizing someone is also hoping that they're going to grow and change, not wishing the worst for them. And as for updates on the subject, we have seen a few more apologies actually. One of the people who was extremely adamant about his thoughts on the subject, and from the outside, didn't seem to even be involved directly, was Weiss.
Bro, what is this? Nicholas DeOrio kill stream. Nicholas DeOrio. What's going on here? Huh? What? Nicholas DeOrio! Why is there a fucking watermark, bro? What the fuck, dude?
Who said on the stream at the time that he would never apologize to Slazzo.
I stand by everything that I said. And everything that I've reiterated upon. And yeah. I don't feel bad.
This seemed pretty ridiculous at the time, considering how everything had gone, but he did actually recently apologize. So a few months ago, I opened my mouth about Slazzo when I didn't know what I was talking about. I helped push a narrative about someone I didn't know doing something they didn't do. I was really stubborn, and I shit the bed on that. I've learned my lesson, and I'm sorry, Michael. I know this is coming really late, but I listened to Slazzo's video on my run earlier, and it just made me think about how fucking stupid I was, and how much of an impact my dumbass takes had on everything. It's my understanding that he wants to move on, so I'd like to contribute to that. Some people will say that this apology is too little, too late, and I understand that mentality because a lot of damage had already been done to Slazzo's reputation, and some of it is irreparable. However, I still believe in giving credit where credit is due. Weiss was dumb. He admitted to being dumb. He said he was sorry.
Oh yeah, I vaguely know about this. He used to knock about with Ethan Ralph, somewhat, right? And then they were falling out. But now I think they're on okay terms, something like that. I don't fucking know, dude. God, there's so much lore and drama and connections and stuff you just got no idea about. You could have a university course in internet drama, and it would probably have quite a lot of material that you could get into. The thing is like, look, there's some fun content that comes out of there, but I just think in some ways you are making a rod for your own back if you get too close, because some of the people there are psychotic. Like, they've got no fucking boundaries or limits. They'll just, you know, come for you in the most egregious ways they can possibly envision. It's just not worth it, you know? Better off just doing your own thing, really.
Apologize to the guy he wronged. It definitely counts for something. Proud of you, buddy. Keep it up. Slazzo made his own update video on the subject, explaining how he felt afterwards and how some of the effects of the situation were still being felt by him, even months later.
They reacted pretty well in general, and I was so, you know, I was so thankful, but it didn't feel conclusive. It didn't feel like it was over, and it still doesn't really. I didn't feel like I'd won. I didn't feel like, yes, it's a victory, you know, I've beaten the situation, I'm uncancelled, and I'm going to live happily ever after. I still felt so paranoid that it was going to flip around again, or that some YouTubers was still maybe like conspiring against me. And that's something that hasn't really left yet. I still feel time to time just irrationally afraid that I'm going to be just have the rug pulled out from under me again, you know?
Oh my god, dude. Yeah. I get it. Fucking hell, dude. That's rough, man. That is fucking rough stuff. This is the big... The thing with like the Me Too stuff and all the rigmarole around it is... It's like everyone moves on And it's almost like you forget or don't think of the people that were at the center of it that got unfairly or unreasonably accused, you know? And this is an example of that, right? Everyone's watching this probably thinking like, oh, fuck, this fucking sucks. And it's like, yeah, these are the stories that, you know, you don't always think about or hear about. The people who got absolutely fucking destroyed and then everyone's moved on and you're just there. Your life's been turned upside down and you just have to fucking pick up the pieces and move forward, you know? Yeah, pretty fucking damaging shit, you know? Fuck, man, that's rough.
By people I used to call friends. So I'm working on some videos now that you haven't seen yet. Well, you might have seen one.
Get a job. No, I really disagree with this take because you're having something ripped from you that is not, it's not fair, right? Like if your channel slowly dies a death because you're not interesting and you can't keep up with the times or whatever it is. Yeah, of course, in that situation, you know, that's a get a job perspective. But in this situation, it's not, it's unfair, it's unreasonable, right? Like people are coming along and trying to rip that from you rather than it just dissipating on its own because of your own issues or mistakes or errors. Yeah, it's an injustice, exactly. So no, you know, I don't feel it in the same kind of fashion, you know? But yeah. And also that's true as well, right? Get a job. There's some situations where people have had their work contacted who have got a job, or there's that stuff where this stuff has pursued them into, you know, beyond the internet as well. So it's not always even that easy. And yeah, I just don't think it should be get a job. It's no, you've been treated horrendously and people have tried to rip this from you unfairly and left a black stain against you essentially, you know? Apologia for what? I don't know what you mean. I'm just saying. I think it's kind of fucked that someone can, you know, it's like the difference between you can't pay for your mortgage, so it ends up kind of frittering away and you can't afford it and you have to move out, versus someone torching your house, you know? And it's like in the first instance, it's more reasonable to say, yeah, you're gonna have to move. Like, it's just the nature of the beast. You got to move. You got to find somewhere cheaper. You got to rent or something like that. Whereas if an arsonist comes along and torches down your house, it would be kind of fucked up to just be like, if they're really bothered about that and like, this fucking sucks, someone's burnt my house down, and you're like, well, you can just move, get somewhere cheaper, you know, rent somewhere, right? It's the same. It's like there's a legitimate like emotional reaction to someone burning down your entire shit versus something slowly dissipating and you having to come to the realization that you can't do that anymore, right?
One of them by the time this goes up, but actually I'm not sure if this version is going up. I might re-record this video. What can I say? Like, I'm excited for the future, but until very recently, it didn't feel like the cancelling was even over. It didn't, like, until my ex deleted her Twitter, which she did, it didn't feel like it was over, and it still kind of doesn't.
He doesn't post on his main channel as often as he
Chud being a contrarian gawk chaser again. That's funny. That's a funny comment.
Did back then, but he does seem to be keeping busy starting his own media company of some kind, which he has posted updates for on Twitter. A YouTuber named Just Stop posted a few videos about this subject after mine, but closer to the time when it happened, where he criticized a lot of the people involved. They're pretty good videos, one of which was actually critical of me, and he posts a lot of respectable content, so be sure to check out his video in the description below if you'd like to see a different perspective about the topic. Overall, it seemed that everyone involved in the situation had learned a lot about it and decided to try and make amends and move on. For the next few years, it will continue to be talked about on YouTube due to how much it spiraled out of control over the span of a few days, and how intense it was. The stakes were high, and the anger was palpable. I'm definitely glad that it ended pretty quickly, because if it had been dragged out, I think things would have gotten much, much worse. What they should have done from the start is take it to the police if they had any evidence, and that is what I advise most people in similar circumstances do in the future. It is very unlikely that the public will not take issue with your statement if you have a lot of contradictions in your story. Not to mention that taking it to the public before a criminal court will often ruin the case. See the various videos about Onision and Chris Hansen. But I'll leave that story to be told by John Swan and Nicholas DeOrio. It's good to see.
Oh my god! Dude, it's like a time capsule of content, isn't it? It's like little things here, little references there. The John Swan stuff. I'm presuming this was before the John Swan... Well, it is, because I remember that was when I was making content that the John Swan stuff happened. Ooh. Did you see Gamer for Mars's Story Fire documentary last night? What is that about? The Fire Festival? I actually watched the Fire Festival documentary on Netflix the other day. But I'm guessing that's about something else. Great documentary, really good. Right, come on, let's get through this. I want to find out more about
that everyone is doing well. Very proud of them.
Here we go.
To see that we got a, you know, pretty solid ending out of the situation, all things considered. A year ago, I don't know if I would have been able to say that. Pretty much everyone here seems to have changed for the better, and I applaud them all for it. Save for one person.
Oh, here we go.
Alex is someone who falsely accused a number of people of things that they are not guilty of, actually stretching back years to a creator named Zaptai, someone who I felt a personal connection to and did a video about on my channel. Apart from that, we also have James Charles.
Zaptai is obviously the famous one that still to this day, there's some discontent. The through lines of the Zaptai drama are felt to this day because of the technical stuff. Yeah, dude. Lots of bad blood there. Anyway.
Slazzo, of course, and most recently the insinuation that Perez Hilton is a predator.
And yes, we're talking Charli D'Amelio.
And yes, I'm obsessed over a 15-year-old girl. Does that upset you? Does that weird you out? Well, unlucky, I'm going to keep on doing it. Because that's what somebody would do, wouldn't they? You know, if a police go, oh mate, maybe you shouldn't hang around schools. You don't go, hey, back at the school again. You stay away.
Now, Alex, why would you call him obsessed when you've made plenty of videos about children in the past?
Just because it's me. And here's the video he posted, where he talks about Charlie going to the beach.
Hope that my daughters are not dancing to songs about taking D on TikTok while gyrating, dancing like grown women to that song in a bikini.
Now, hello.
Dude, Perez Hilton, isn't he just a flamboyant gay man talking about celebrity drama? How is he a predator? No? Well, look guys, I know you're going to get into the homophobia memes, but I mean, he's just a flamboyant gay guy, you know? Yeah, Perez Hilton, with all of his celebrity gossip shit, would have been well exposed by now if he was doing anything that crazy, I would have thought, but... yeah.
Look, man, just because she's dancing on TikTok, which is what people do on that app, and I know some of the song choices may be a bit out there, but that's music. That's like all pop music nowadays. It's all like that, and it's been like that forever. It gets played at kids' birthday parties and stuff, you know? So that's more of a problem with pop music than it is with kids. Like, it's the music that's on the radio. So, of course, that's the type of music people are going to be dancing to, isn't it? Weird videos for an adult. Like, I don't know, what's wrong? Kid dances in clothing you would wear to a beach, or man obsessing over 15-year-old dancing in clothes that you would wear to the beach.
No, Alex, this simply won't do. Oh, hold on, I'm getting a phone call right now. Hey, Alex, why is it that you said the same thing that Perez said about Danielle Kahn? Another similar e-celebrity that posts, well, let's call it what it is, jailbait.
You're sexualizing yourself as a child, and I'm completely aware and okay with it.
Yeah, you look a little like...
Why is YouTube chat excluded for being visible on stream? It's some sort of glitch, and I've got no idea how to fix it. Hopefully it will pop back up there soon. Good luck.
Got an 18-year-old girl in this picture.
But she's not an 18-year-old girl, is she? So she shouldn't be posting, like, stuff online. Just me? Or am I insane?
Damn, bro. Pretty cringe, not gonna lie. Honestly, I don't think anyone would really care about any of this if, well, he hadn't done it 3 other times and to a much worse degree. But we do care, Alex. I promise you, we do. It's kind of obnoxious.
Bro, this dude deserves every ounce of cancellation he's going to receive. And the problem is, you know, I'm obviously always happy to give people a fair shake regardless of whatever. But most people aren't going to be. Who is going to be there to defend this guy, to say, hold your horses? And from what I understand... like I say, this is a precursor because the actual allegations in full haven't dropped yet. Well, the thing is, I'll defend whatever is available. Like, I'll just cover it as I always do and give it all a fair shake one way or another, right? But I'm saying that I'm not going to come out and, like, defend him and get angry about this guy getting fucked because he's fucked others in this way. So it's like, well, I'm not going to get on my high horse about it. It's just like, yeah, you fucking deserve this, bro. You know? This is like when the fucking villain in James Bond falls in the shark tank or something, you know? It's like, well, you were going to feed James Bond to those sharks, and now you're getting eaten by them. Good. Good.
Amount of bullets spews out of your mouth. You'd think you'd learn.
Surprise, surprise. We are back talking about ImAllexx, the snake, the betrayer, aka Littlefinger. And for people who were concerned last time, don't worry. I don't think he's as smart as Littlefinger. I just think he betrays his friends a lot.
He's not friends with Clown. He's not friends with Zaptai. He's not friends with the Hot Wet Soup. He's not friends with Chubs. He's not friends with Pyro. So this is why I say he's the biggest leech in the community, and he sucks off everyone bigger than him.
Most people haven't forgiven Alex for everything, due to a pattern of behavior he seems to have of backstabbing his friends and lying about them. A few creators have posted videos and podcasts about him since then, giving their thoughts, including Brad Does Banter and G-Raf, who made a video talking about their thoughts on him and how a lot of creators had stopped being pals with him after the Slazzo incident.
When I went to Insomnia, we're going back about 6 months now. At the end of August. Yeah, I didn't go back. I know you didn't go, but Alex was hated by everyone, mate. Every YouTuber hated him. Closest people to him hated him, up to speak to him. The only person who was speaking to him was ImAllexx, and he was fucking barely speaking to him. Fucking, I never hated him. Fucking not Slazzo. Slazzo's the one he fucked over, but what's he called? Show his face. What's he called? Quite hated him. All of his mates hated him. Everyone hated him. Fucking Pyrocynical's dad threatened to batter ImAllexx, you know. Pyrocynical's dad threatened to batter ImAllexx at Insomnia. Pyrocynical's father, that is fucking true. That sounds like something.
Oh, sorry. I always forget you Americans. You can't understand English accents, can you? Any accent, really. Scottish, you got no hope, you know? Pyro's dad wanted to beat ImAllexx up. Is that true? I'll turn the subtitles on.
And honestly, why would you want to be friends with this guy?
Too late, sorry.
Everything he's done. I mean, imagine trusting this dude after watching him stab people in the back time and time again. It's become obvious to me in my time online that there are very few people you can actually trust, especially as a commentary channel. Alex is definitely one of the ones that you can't. Since then, he's also gone on a few different podcasts to talk about the situation, where he claims that he was lied to and didn't really know what the truth was. For those of you familiar with the situation, this may seem kind of ridiculous considering how, in regards to not only Slazzo, but also Zaptai and James Charles, Alex was at the forefront of calling these people sexual predators, 2 of which were his friends. On top of that, when presented with information that contradicted what he was saying originally, he stood...
Also, what is it? I had a brief look earlier. His channel's called something else now, isn't it? It's like Alex and his surname, I think. I tried to look to see if he does anything like this anymore, but he doesn't really seem... Oh, that must be a second channel, I guess. Jojo Siwa is hiding a dark secret. We watched the UK scare... Oh, that's actually a great video. Have you seen that video? The debt collector. And he tells a really funny story in it. About basically, he went to a debt collection once. And there was the other big, like, fuck off lads with him or whatever to pick up a debt. And it was a bit off the books. It wasn't like an official one. Anyway, he says that he was looking downstairs for some stuff. And apparently, the guys were upstairs... raping this guy that owed money. They literally raped him and then took pictures of it and said, if you don't pay back the money, you know, we're going to release these images. And then he paid up because you don't want to be seen as getting gay sex even though he was raped. Yes, that is a story that this guy told. Apparently that happened. Average British argument. That's just how we do it over here, guys, okay? It's a bit weird. But yeah, it's just how we do things. That was a funny story, I agree. Hilarious. Anyway, yeah, it seems like he's not really doing any... He's really moved away from that sort of content, it looks like, which is good. Just looking at TikToks and stuff. Ruby Frank is terrible. That's fair. Sniper Wolf. Oh, Colleen Ballinger. Yeah. Okay. I mean, you know, it's not... Colleen Ballinger did do some fucked up shit.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
You get in a fight with a weed whacker there, Shuddington. I like the cut. G.
Thank you. One of my kids did it, actually. Thank you very much for the $5. Belder Fiend's secret video. Okay, yeah. It looks like he's moved away from the hardline commentary shit, right? Yo, Vesselkin, thank you very much for hitting level 12. Appreciate it. We nearly hit all our level 12s. Punching Bag of the Week commentary channel. Yeah, that probably is about right. Yeah, that's probably fair. Yeah.
By his position, even though the facts had changed almost completely. He seems so eager to jump on a train against them and ruin their lives. I honestly don't know what his motivations are. Maybe if it had been one time, then you could have said he was dumb. If it was twice, you could have called him gullible. But 3? 4? Honestly, I think the time for assuming good faith out of this dude is pretty much over. It's my best guess that the people watching these videos are either unaware of the overwhelming amount of criticism against him, or they're just brain dead and don't care.
Is it about
If you remember,
ImAllexx?
one of the main players involved in this situation was BluesDank, a YouTuber who was once friends with ImAllexx but has since fallen out of favor with him and has some information to share. It should be noted that this is just his personal account. I do not necessarily endorse everything he has to say. That being said, it would be interesting to get the perspective of someone who was pretty close with Alex. And
oh my god, is that not true? Alex walks so Nick is not green could run. Yes. Oh my god, dude, it's so true that what's filled the gap is all these lefty soy tubers that would immediately back allegations. Oh my god, dude, that's so true.
And was directly involved with not only this case, but also the Zaptai story from a few years ago. So, without further ado, let's get into the interview with BluesDank. When did you learn of the allegations against Slazzo, and what was your initial reaction to what you heard?
I want to say it was like probably a week prior to it becoming public knowledge. I think it was like a week before the whole TwitLonger was released. What was it? So when I was first told, it was through a Discord call, and I had just woken up, and I was like, oh, the sentence I was told was, Slazzo was a rapist. I was like, wow, that's heavy.
Slazzo raped. Bro, this is insane, dude. You can't do anything these days without getting called a rapist. Fucking absurd.
And obviously those words put you in like shock immediately because you think, Jesus Christ, because you expect the person telling you that to not be saying it as a joke and to not be saying it without like good enough reason. So I kind of just went like, okay. And I was like, what have you got? And then sent me all these messages that everyone's seen, like the whole chat log. My first question, yeah, all the Discord DMs I saw had individual screenshots at the time rather than a screen recording.
Yes.
Which I know Shay released later on, which then everyone saw on Twitter. I'd read through those and I thought my original opinion on it was just, this doesn't prove rape, but it's definitely creepy, and that's that. That's like all I put it as, because it's just, you know, it's one of those things. It's just a bit. I thought it was just a bit weird, but not any
creepy. You know, it is the kind of catch-all term, I think, for something that you look at that you don't want to call serious, but you want to call it something. Like, that's the catch-all term. But it does get overused, I feel. There's nothing that I could see in any of those messages that is really creepy, particularly with the context that it's, you know, someone so young themselves is doing it, you know?
Point did I think this was suitable for the internet, and I was genuinely praying that this was going to go public.
I can see YouTube chat and Twitch chat. I've got it all in front of me, so, you know, go to the chat you're most comfortable in, and I will see you, okay?
Because I hadn't heard anything of a TwitLonger yet. Because I wasn't in any of these group chats. Like, that's like a thing I said a lot. I've never been in any of those group chats these guys were in. Or the group chat that everyone was talking about, I was never in that. So I had no like inside scoop apart from one person feeding me information now and again. I would just be like,
I can't.
Okay.
It's not out of my hands.
Advice. They were just like, what should I say here? And I'd be like, well, I don't know.
Chat. YouTube has always got the most viewers. Always. There's just over 1,000. Twitch is 95, but it's increased a bit, I guess, over the past few minutes because of that. About 15 kick. But I can see you all, guys. Just go where you're most comfortable. I can see all of you. Got you set up perfect, okay?
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
The moment some BPD who screams rape people just assume the guy is a grapist. ChudLogic 2025.
Well, I feel I said something similar to that already. In fact, I think my comment is, I don't think that someone with BPD should be immediately believed because they've got a tendency to be dishonest and lie, particularly if they're not medicated. So I would never accept a BPD person saying something as fact. That's absurd.
So I made an original tweet, which was where I called him creepy, and that was just like a fucking. I tweet out my thoughts kind of thing immediately, and I thought, you know what, this is like dumb for me to like even say anything on. It's just rude and it's just like not needed. And it wasn't my place, so I kind of just like deleted it because I just didn't want to upset anybody really, because like it's not my intention at all.
Who first told you of these allegations?
So it was two different people. I'm not like, I just want to like preface, I don't want to be like throwing anyone under the bus because like that's how I felt in the situation a little bit from these people. But like, so I don't want this to be seen as some kind of like revenge act on my part. But yeah, I was called by Anna and Alex, King Anna and ImAllexx, and Alex is the one who said that he was a rapist. Whether he was saying it as like a loose term or not, it was still what was sent to me, and I was then sent the DMs afterwards.
Loose
so
term.
I was definitely under the impression that this was
rapist means you have fucked someone against their will, right? Normally it means some sort of penetrative act that's engaged in against their will. You you know, more broadly, it could be used to refer to maybe some sort of sexual assault or something like that, perhaps. But, you know, in its most correct definition, it's a penetrative act of sex that's engaged with against the will, regardless of what the object is, right? Like, it's because, dude, are things getting better? I feel like things are maybe getting better. Yeah, we're leading up to that. We're getting all the background because I've never done the Slazzo stuff before. So we're just getting all the background before we have a laugh at him getting some sort of allegation against him. We're going to have a great laugh at him. But yeah, I mean, that's fucking absurd. I mean, how on earth, on the basis of what you got, can you call this guy a rapist? I don't even think that's what was accused in the first place. Was it just the rape message? Is that what it was?
Probably true. But obviously I couldn't say that because that's not right. You can't just say someone's a rapist because you have a few Discord DMs. So.
Were the allegations meant to be public from the start, or were they to remain private and Shay was possibly pressured into making all of them public?
So I was under the impression that it was just like, content was going to be kept behind the scenes because obviously, like, I mean, a lot of commentary YouTubers have, because, you know, when Alex says, oh, I've dealt with loads of these cases before, like, back in the day of the commentary community, there are a lot of people that used to do and say really, like, weird shit about, like, other women and shit like that, so it was definitely something that was, I thought, okay, well, this is a big guy, like, this isn't going to go public. I just didn't think it ever would. And then I was told that, the words that I was told was, oh, Shay's working on a twit longer. And I was like, has she gone to the police yet? And they said, why would she do that? And I was like, well, I mean, if she wants to do anything with this, like, she'd have to go to the police first. Like, I've dealt with a situation in the past with someone, and she went to the police first, and she knew she had to, because if she put it online first, they would have literally thrown it in her face. And because she did actually make a subtweet about it, and after they checked her social media, and she had texted friends about the situation, the police literally threw the case back in her face, and like, we're not dealing with this. So I said, like, with my experience, like, don't let her post this online before she goes and speaks to someone with authority, and tries to take legal action first. And make sure her parents, like, know if she actually feels like taking this seriously. And I was told that Shay just threw the whole, like, she was like, I don't want to go to the police and shit like that. But then she did speak to parents, and it was getting this, like, muddled up thing where Shay didn't know what she wanted to do. By the sounds of things. It sounded like she didn't know what she wanted to do. But people were, like, in that group were adamant on making sure she had a twit longer, I'm sure, because one fucking came out, and it was garbage.
Wait, so to be clear, what you're saying here is you think that maybe she wasn't 100% sure she wanted to, like, do anything about this, right? But people, like, pushed her in that direction, and that might have caused what we now see?
A little bit. I want to say, like, she was, like, probably, like, slightly pushed, but at the same time I feel like she was probably on the fence about, like, whether to go to the police or not. Because, like, that's scary, right? Like, going to the police about shit is scary, but, like, and I think in her mind probably as well, like, twit longer is the easiest route in her head. It's the easiest thing to do. She just has to type a few fucking words and press enter and post it. But at the same time, like,
it's the easiest thing to do, and it's the easiest way of seeking some consequence for the individual without scrutiny, right? Even to this day, I think things are better than they were back then, but there's still this issue where a twit longer is, you know, seen as super conclusive in a way that, you know, it shouldn't be. Yeah, the audio levels are bad. I don't know it is what it is, I'm afraid. Blame Turkey Tom 3 years ago for this, okay? But yeah, I mean, there's no scrutiny. You can say whatever you want. There's no legal scrutiny on you, apart from it, unless you maybe do some defamation, which people aren't going to pursue and is unlikely to happen anyway. Very rare that I think someone would pursue it. Dude. When was the last twit long you'd seen that was taken seriously? I don't know, man. The thing is, I think, but we look at it from the perspective of we're not taking it seriously always because we're quite skeptical of this stuff, broadly speaking, in this wonderful community, okay? But there's still a large proportion of people that will still do the, oh, I'm so sorry this happened to you shtick, right? The Minecraft ones were filled with prominent creators even that were like saying, I'm so sorry this happened to you and shit like that, you know? So it does still happen. I think things are better than this, back when this happened, but there's still a lot of movement that needs to be had away from this, you know, believe women, validate accusers, all that shit, you know? We need to go to trust but verify. That's the best one, I think. That's the best mentality. Yeah, the Minecraft stuff was a few months ago. But time flies, we're having fun. Yes, I'm an MRA, correct.
It's the worst route. Like, I don't think enough people were, like, pushing it to her, like, this is a fucking legal matter, you need to take this up with authorities. Not enough people were telling her that. And I think it was just neglect from some of these people just not listening, especially to my advice. Whenever anyone said like anything about the situation to me privately, I'm like, she's going to the police, right? And a lot of other my friends as well were also like telling these people, you need to go to the police about this. And they were like, if she doesn't, you have every right to go to the police as well. Because you can call an international hotline right now if you had like an allegation or evidence on someone, and you can call the police and they'll call the correct authorities in that area and they'll go and see them. Like, there's no need for you to keep like asking someone to post a tweet longer about a career that you've been close with. It doesn't make any sense.
Who were the main people involved in spreading misinformation, and do you think they had the best intentions behind what they did?
So, I think unintentionally, I'll start with like the people who I think did the least like quote unquote damage. I think unintentionally, we spread probably a little bit of misinformation in that video he posted and a few tweets he posted. I don't remember what they said, but I remember seeing it and just thinking, why? Like, just why is he even saying anything? Because he wasn't involved in any of these group chats either. He was also like on the fence with me. Like, I know I made a statement, but immediately I was like, what the fuck?
Okay, that's wonderful. Be involved in but how do I make money?
Thank you for the $2. I did get a haircut.
I was just like, dude,
thank you.
There's no need for this. And I think that it doesn't help because you're getting your audience just like this. You said this about my tweet, Tom, which I completely agree with. You said that without me like probably realizing I think this is what you said. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like my tweet unintentionally, or like it kind of like makes my audience believe that these rumors might be true or they are true. I don't know. With the thing is with spreading misinformation, I think classing misinformation as well is like just the whole timeline of those first few days of it coming out. Like some of Anna's tweets saying like, I can't believe I hung around this guy, and like even my reply tweet saying like, holy fuck. Like I think even that didn't help. It's probably also spreading misinformation. One thing.
Nice haircut, Chud. The bold spot is looking good. Ryzek, thank you. Thank you for your kind comments.
This is one reason why I just felt like saying I wanted to stay very quiet about it all because I didn't really want to get any like I made my tweet and I thought oh my god, and I apologized for that tweet and like apologized for acting like I was doing like spreading anything or like being biased, and I wanted to just delete that as well because I had a few people closer to me saying like literally just stay quiet, delete everything, shut the fuck up, ignore it, like you're not involved, you don't want to be involved, what's the point in throwing shit away for this? And I was like, you're probably right. So that's why I went quiet, but at the same time like I didn't want to like make a statement and add to anything. I think adding to the fire was like something as well, but at the same time I didn't want to also tweet like these people are fucking idiots for saying all this shit and riding this boat with like this whole idea that he's 100% guilty with no actual physical evidence. I didn't want to like shit on them because like some of them were still like my friends, even though I didn't really know at the time whether this was right or wrong because they were so adamant they had to.
Men have to be so mean to ChudLogic to make up for the woman being nice. Now, there's some women that also are mean. Okay, don't worry about it.
Something on him. I mean, but we didn't see anything. So, you know, it's one of those weird. But I think the obvious guy who takes the cake with spreading the most misinformation is obviously Alex. I think his Twitter videos were pretty damaging, for sure. I think he became the face of the situation pretty quickly. I've had a lot of arguments with Alex through the years, and this is just one of those ones where I just lost energy of ever trying to like rebuild anything with him. I could probably be in the same. I have been in the same room as him since, not intentionally. He just walked past through like a lobby of a building, and you know, I just looked the guy in the eye and saying, "There's no need for me to ever speak to that guy again." I could stomach him. I could be in the same room as him, but I could never trust that guy with anything. So it's just one of those things, sadly. I mean, that situation, I don't particularly think he had good intentions. I think maybe inside his head he might have done, but I don't think he had good intentions towards the end of it, especially when he went on that podcast.
The thing is like, what value are good intentions? Hitler had good intent. Okay, I mean, in his own head, he did. Okay, like obviously Hitler bad. He didn't actually have good intentions broadly, but like in his own perspective, he did. Right? That's the point that I'm trying to make. You know, people can often have, from their own perspective, a good intent in doing something. And you maybe want to take that into account when you're looking at the outcome of that. But regardless of what your good intentions are, if the outcome is you get a guy and you destroy him and you destroy his public image, you know, if you could you say Holocaust someone's image, for example, are you really going to sit there and try and argue that, oh, well, the good intentions were there? Well, it doesn't really matter, right? The intentions are irrelevant. Like, what's the output of the outcome? Take it into account, and maybe it might be that you change your perspective a bit because you're like, well, the outcome wasn't that bad, and it's not as if the person had terrible intentions. But dude, fucking hell, bro, this fucking wrecked this guy's life. And I don't even think that's true. I think that, you know, yes. Oh my God, that's a good one. Road to hell is paved with good intentions. Yes, exactly. So yeah, it feels like a bit of like cope or, you know, trying to downplay or something, you know?
And said that he was lied to, which, I mean, yeah, of course he was. I mean, like, to an extent, like, some of the shit Shay said was like quite flat out lies, because she, you know, didn't provide context for a lot of things she was saying. I was shown, like, what the group chat looked like and some of the messages that were put in there, because I asked someone in the group chat to show me, like, what was going on, because I was literally, like, so angry at one point, and I saw everything, and I was just like, what the fuck? And that's kind of another reason why I went quiet completely, was because, like,
that's wonderful.
I was beside myself with disappointment.
Oh my God, Darcy with the $30. Thank you very much. It's very generous of you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thanks for 30 bucks. Yeah, I mean, you know. By the way, guys, thank you very much for the raid stuff too. You guys have really been good on that. So I love you all deeply from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
There were some people in there and some of the shit they were saying. And, you know.
More to go, more to go.
I remember as well seeing your video, Nick, and it was when I saw the list that Alex said of people who were involved. One, it wasn't even 20 YouTubers, which I think is funny, that doesn't even line up with what he said on that podcast. So, yeah, he mentioned me, Weast, Pyrocynical, which I think Niall might have been in the group chat, but I know for a fact I remember seeing a message from him just saying, like, guys,
I kind of got it and missed all this.
I think he was, like, also in the same mindset as me, just like, how did I get involved in this and what the fuck is going on? I think he went into damage control, and as much as I do feel like bad for him because he probably went through a bad mental time, I can't even imagine what Michael was going through.
What do you think were Alex's intentions behind sticking to Shay's story, even after finding out that she had lied?
I don't think his intention particularly was to ruin someone that was innocent. I think he did genuinely believe in his head that without reason, like without like, you know,
okay. If someone believes something in their head based off faulty information that's wrong, okay, then that's still really fucking bad, and they got no business being anywhere near a fucking allegation ever. Like, I know this is old and stuff, you know. But bear in mind, I'm hearing some of this stuff literally for the first time in my entire fucking life. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Like, and also like, there's a level of carelessness and neglect that you need to accept in order for that to be true. And I'm just like, really? Like, this Alex guy did seem to be malicious anyway, and he did want to fucking destroy him. Yeah, I don't know much about that. That's not been covered much in this stuff we've watched, but apparently people in chat are saying, so take this as you will, that apparently there was like dishonesty that Alex was spreading. Like he was making shit up in order to make the medicine go down smoother. Is that true? Fucking hell, bro. That's crazy. I don't know where I could find information about that, but anyway, I don't want to, you know, we're going to watch this and then we'll look at the, you know, the slim information there is about the allegations in regards to Alex. Is there like a timestamp I can look at so we don't have to watch a whole other video that we could quickly look at with that?
Spread of a doubt that this guy was guilty.
Yeah, exactly. There's a perverse incentive, okay? So we all act off incentives, and sometimes we act off perverse incentives, but you can still judge someone from the behavior, even though that behavior is led to by a certain incentive, right? Because not everyone responds to an incentive in like a, you know, a bad way. But it seems pretty obvious that ImAllexx was rubbing his hands together, thinking he had a big juicy story. And that's why he should have recused himself from it and not got involved, because he was way too close to it, you know? Also, just another example of why people that make YouTube videos, I don't think should be really participating at all in the coming out of the story. It should just be a person, you know, decides to come out with something and then people talk about it and discuss it accordingly, not being involved in pushing someone to release something because the incentive is just too egregious there, you know?
You genuinely believe that. I genuinely don't think he thought there was any way that he could make himself sound innocent. I don't think he would have expected that apology to come out as well as it did. And I genuinely, I don't know, I think Alex meant well. I think he wanted justice in his head. But I don't think he realized that, like, he's kind of like Bruce the Shark from Finding Nemo, I think. Or at least he was. He's probably changed now. I don't know. I've not spoken to him. I've not spoken about him really in a long time. But I'm sure that, like, he's better now. But he used to just, whenever drama like hit his nose, like blood, his eyes would roll back in his fucking skull and he'd turn into a different person.
Yeah, exactly.
Would you say that ImAllexx is a hard time admitting when he's in the wrong regarding these situations?
Drama.
I think I have to agree as well, because I feel like that's most likely exactly how it is. I never really, like, I don't know, like this vibe, this like way he gets with drama never seems to really happen in private situations. If anything ever happened like privately, like a little argument over something, it never seemed to go this route. But there was, I don't know, there was always this weird thing whenever like public drama became like a thing. He'd always get very involved in the front of the situation, which for someone who seems to be so afraid of losing everything, it's such weird behavior. Because if you were so afraid of, I don't know, bleeding subscribers on your fucking social blade and fucking being cancelled and having your fucking name like tarnished, like you'd think you just wouldn't get involved in drama, like, you know?
Why did you delete your original apology?
So, I mean, the apology for the tweet, right? Like, I'm trying to remember which apology, because I spoke about it on Twitch a few times as well. My whole mindset, like, I just want to, like say this, like, my whole, like, where my head was at during, like, pretty much all this, I was, like, so fucking anxious, like, 24/7. Like, I genuinely thought every minute of the day something else was going to happen. Kind of like how 2020's been going. Like, every day you'd wake up and think, what next is going to happen? What else? And you'd open Twitter and you refresh the page and you expect something else to come out about someone and you expect someone else to say something else. It was just like, I didn't want any part of it. So like when I said sorry, I was like basically trying to like apologize to Michael himself, because I knew he still followed me and I just wanted, hopefully, that he could see that, because I didn't want to reach out to him because I thought I was like getting like, I don't know, I was a bit pushy. So I kind of just like apologized for my tweet, just like, dude, like, I just think these messages are a bit creepy and like there's nothing stopping him from just like, saying,
okay,
like, I don't know why people are sharing these.
I think this is the apology here, right? I don't know when this came out exactly. Regarding Slazzo and my involvement, so this is what he put out afterwards. Wretched little freak. God, this guy is so bad, dude. Recently, I spoke to Slazzo and discussed as well as apologised for my support of Che's original post and the way I handled the accusations that have been put forward. I came to the conclusion I had, through multiple friends of mine reinforcing stories, as well as multiple other people coming forward privately with their own personal situation involving Slazzo, which under the pretext I fully believed at the time. Oh my God, dude. I don't know how I managed to do so much shit and keep growing. Because it's rare there's ever any justice in this world, in the world of the online arena. He had quite a big fan base, so presumably they kind of looked the other way, and you know, they probably, you know, dude, it's so obnoxious to me that there's people who would have jumped on board with it and they would have been like piranhas, and then they would have changed the perspective as time went on, and then when he put his apology out, they would have been, or maybe they didn't, maybe they still were very vicious, and then he puts the apology out and it's like, oh, we apologize though. Well, yeah, after how long? Like, it's not, at some point, it's like, it's not good enough. Like, you know, it's too late. At some stage, it's like it leaves an indelible mark, surely. You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube and the damage is done, you know? Like the fucking Mama Max shit. Like, it's all very well, I mean, he's still not really accounted for the fuck-ups and shit that he's done. But yeah, at some point, it's like, what? It's too little, too late. Like, you fucked up so badly. Yes, it becomes malice at that point. Yeah. Yeah, I'd rather support a liar than abuser. Yep, there was. Remember the thing during the Jogger Conroy stuff? They did Pascal's Wager. Pascal's Wager is a religious thing where it says you're better off believing in God than not believing in God, because the consequences for not believing in God are bad. And whether you do or don't, you're still going to, you know, you either don't experience hell or you do. You know, to put it simply, right? Someone did that, but with allegations of abuse and assault or whatever, right? It was, well, if you believe an accuser, whether they're telling the truth or not, you're still supporting an accuser. But if you believe someone that's accused, either it's right and you were correct to support the accuser, or it's not right and it doesn't matter because, well, you supported a person accusing anyway. Do you see what I mean? It was during the Chugger Conroy stuff, and it's like, dude, what an insufferable way of looking at the world. Why not just fucking, you know, why not just look at the information and come to like reasonable conclusions off of it? Why do you have to come up with this narrative that you must always support someone that's making an allegation? It's so stupid. Oh, Slazzo. I should have waited for both sides of the story and regret supporting the post without having all the information and hearing Slazzo's side. I've spoken to him since and apologised for jumping the gun, no matter how damning I believe the evidence was. It was a mistake to support the post, as no matter how much I believe the allegations were true, it does not excuse the fact that it should have been given to the correct authorities to deal with properly and privately. I regret giving my personal opinion on the situation, as it was not necessary. I did so because I felt responsible as a friend of those involved, but also as a friend of Slazzo's to not support the behaviour he had been accused of, as I fully believe that it was completely true at the time.
Okay,
Regarding me doubling
wonderful.
down...
But how do I make money off depressed people?
The only real trans women are those with BPD. BPD is a woman trait. ChudLogic 2025.
Thank you for the 333. Has anyone got a link to Alex spreading false rumours? I want to see that piece as well, and then we'll get to the latest allegation shit with Alex. We'll have some fun with what we've got. Regarding me doubling down, I very much believed a lot of the stories I've been given from multiple people, other people, which is why I wasn't quick to dismiss the alleged victims that had approached me. Although that doesn't excuse my rash responses and poor handling of a very delicate situation. I understand people are upset with my lack of response, but I've personally taken my time to respond. I'm just laughing about... Do you remember when British Runner called Nicholas DeOrio the John Wick of the commentary community? Oh, that's such a good line. That's a banger. That is an absolute banger. Anyway, yeah, we'll check out his segment about Alex spreading rumours. Dude, that is... Oh, so good. Doesn't show responsible handling of a very delicate situation. I understand people are upset at my lack of a response, but I've personally taken my time to respond due to recent events and constantly developing situations that have been happening privately. I removed my posts regarding the situation as I can no longer stand behind them, nor do I believe in them anymore based off new information that I've been given. And how long did this apology come out after this all went down? Quite a long time, I guess, right? Okay. Is this it? ImAllexx, the master of misinformation. Is that what I'm looking for? I'm guessing that's it. Anyway, listen, we watched enough of Tokyo Talk. Is this the one?
At this point, I think somebody is going to walk away from this a loser. But quite clearly, he panicked and rushed it, which is his fault. He's like a real-life Bond villain. I personally feel like I owe James an apology. And I have reached out to him privately about that to say sorry for the fact that I did not have all the information that I wish I had.
No, it's a Slazzo interview one. Oh, okay. Okay, sorry, my bad. ImAllexx is a danger to the platform, the Slazzo interview.
Okay. A week ago, I made a video and...
The John Wick of the commentary community. It's so good, man. Help your countrymen. Dude, what is it with the Britbongers? Honestly. Fucking letting the side down. Eh? I'm guessing it's in here somewhere.
In response to some tweets ImAllexx made, and since then, Kavos made a video, Black Wolf Company made a video, and the Baited Podcast got back together, so, well, it's been a pretty good week. All of these creators stood up to criticize Alex and friends for promoting false rape allegations against a YouTuber named Slazzo. But you know all this already. If you haven't heard it from me, I'm assuming you've heard it from the plethora of other creators who have decided to speak up on the subject. What you haven't heard, however, was ImAllexx's side of the story, because for some reason, he's decided to avoid talking to his own friends and actively chose to not address his fan base. There is nothing quite like doubling down on false rape allegations and then going on vacation. Well, I got the chance to speak to ImAllexx for what I believe was about roughly 2 hours in total, and what he told me was very concerning. I feel like I have a moral obligation to come forward because it's disgusting how a successful 19-year-old YouTuber is being falsely accused of rape. Initially, I thought it would be difficult to come forward without a full audio recording of the call. Alex himself told Boblax that he was perfectly fine with me making a video, right? So I figured it might be a tough sell. He was fine with it after all. The kind of fine with it where you spam my Discord account. The kind of fine with it where you threaten to get lawyers involved if a
Oh my god, dude.
That doesn't exist in the first place.
If the recorder of the call, he needs to rip my consent to release it. Oh! The John Wick of the commentary community, Nicholas DeOrio, strikes again.
Had been released. So needless to say, I don't think my story will be doubted now. I was invited to a call with the YouTuber Boblax and a few of his mutuals that included ImAllexx essentially venting. This was one call of many, and as I've been openly skeptical of Alex myself, I denied most invitations I had received.
Can someone link me the clip, please? I need to play it at opportune moments. Come on, someone must have the clip.
Until I finally caved in and heard him out. What I got from Alex was essentially a 2-hour sob story about how it seems like there are so many cases of sexual assault in his line of work. He openly says that the accusations against Slazzo was the 25th case of sexual assault that has occurred in a friend group he's been a part of. He implied that these were some of the reasons he moves from friend group to friend group, not social climbing, but these are the reasons he finds himself on so many different podcasts constantly. He verbally said something along the lines of people thinking that he was the oracle of sexual assault with the amount of cases that people would bring to him. The first major contradiction he told me was that he said he felt a moral obligation to do right in these sexual misconduct cases. This was backed up with a similar story he told on Twitter Live last.
Hey, Charles, sex rate level 25. Things Alex do. And this is exactly the kind of thing that the John Wick of the commentary community would do. Alex wants to lead the charge against rape.
Month. I have had to fucking do this so many times. I've had to call out multiple friends of mine for doing shit that James Charles has done. And now James Charles...
Okay, here's a question. Why have you got so many friends that are rapists? That speaks quite badly to you, doesn't it? Yeah, all my friends are rapists. I keep having to tell them to stop raping left, right and centre. Is that not a you problem that you got so many friends that rape?
Apparently. Somebody else who I know who I could add on the fucking long list of fucking terrible, terrible people who managed to get a hold of a popular YouTube channel. I would like to be somebody who leads by example in that area because of the fact that I know so many people who turn blind eyes to sexual predators, rapists, paedophiles. I know people who have known that people have done these things for months and they kept it quiet. And when I found out and I asked everybody how long everybody knew, they were like, I've known for months about the fact that everybody here is a sexual predator. And I'm just sat here going, you guys are fucking terrible.
Alex often mentioned Zaptai and the other experiences as reasons he felt this way. He wanted to be a leader on this front because so many people let things like this slide. Well, that's noble, right? You'd think. He then almost immediately contradicted himself by following up this statement telling a story of another YouTuber who was accused of sexual assault. He heard the victim first, and he believed her, so he contacted the YouTuber only to find out that his response to the allegations was that he was too drunk to remember what actually happened. What did Alex do in this situation, you ask? Did he go public? Did he call the police? Did he alert fans who might come in contact with him? No. Alex told him, and I quote, "If I'm drunk is your actual response, then you should get out of the community and not talk to anyone else about this. Leave forever." He let him off. That's a major contradiction straight away that he mentioned in passing, but then you realize that he admitted to calling the alleged rapist. He didn't even call Slazzo and ask if it was true. Not only did he admit to ignoring what could actively be...
So in another situation, he called the YouTuber and gave him an out, basically. But he didn't even do that with Slazzo. Damn, man. I tell you what, it's no wonder that they call Nicholas DeOrio the John Wick of commentary. Do you know what I mean? With stuff like this, I mean, it's just so obvious.
Believed as a serious rape allegation, but he also gave the man the benefit of the doubt, which he didn't even do for Slazzo, a man that lived at his house for a week. A man that was his friend, supposedly. When Alex was told of these allegations, what do you think his first response was? He told me his response was, another one. Not what happened, not is this true? No, Alex apparently is so burnt out from being around degenerates that his response was, another one. Unless you're DJ Khaled hanging out at the police station, another one should not be your first thought after finding out someone's been sexually assaulted. This starts to paint a picture for ImAllexx. He boasts 25 sexual crime allegations. I personally have only heard of 3. His best friend Zaptai, his associate James Charles, and a friend he lived with in Slazzo. Quite the pattern. It seems like we only hear about these horrible monsters when they directly affect Alex's bottom line. When Alex needs to get out in front of something, it's a public issue. When it's not associated with him, it becomes a just don't talk to anyone else about this and lay low kind of rape story. And that's the best way to begin this video. He made constant little white lies, like telling us that...
Have you? Can you put it in the Discord?
Slazzo only lived with him 3 days when it's documented that he lived in his house for about a week. He also tweeted out a tweet that very clearly makes Slazzo look like an adult talking to a 14-year-old girl, and he told Tommy in DMs this wasn't the intention. Well, when he was asked about it in private, he told myself and Boblax that he fundamentally was against the 2-year age gap, and people who do that kind of shit around here get beaten up. This, of course, is the equivalent of an 11th grader dating a 9th grader, but, you know what, I digress.
What the fuck? That's crazy, dude. Also, yeah, link it somewhere and we'll, you know, I need it ready. For this video, we're going to need it a lot. I can tell you that much, okay?
Also, apparently, there is some...
Oh, it's in the ImAllexx deep dive video at 4:58:52. Okay, let's find it quickly. This is going to be worth it, okay? British runner. Oh, fuck. I've just remembered. British runner DM me and I forgot to reply, dude. I feel bad. Okay, what is it again? 4:58:52.
I went into the creation of this video in
4:58:52. Okay, where is it? 4:58. 4:58:52.
Had claimed
okay,
for the same doubt Spencer would had danced around to Xylee all the way to the John Wick of commentary channels, Nicholas DeOrio. The John Wick of commentary channels from Muta to Xylee all the way to the John.
Okay, is this it? Have I got the right timestamp here? I need it exact.
Wick of commentary channels.
No!
Muta to
No, I got it wrong. I got it wrong. I don't have the clip to hand. Can someone clip it? I've just got the timestamp. Someone clip it. Come on.
Xylee all the way to the John Wick of commentary channels, Nicholas DeOrio.
Okay. Oh. Can someone clip it? I don't know how to clip. I've never clipped a YouTube video before. The way he says it is great, yeah. It's around there anyway, if anyone feels that way inclined. I need it. I've decided I definitely need it, okay? We're going to get a lot of use out of this. Because I don't think Nicholas is using it, probably because he's, you know, too, comes across as a bit, you know, so yeah, a bit sucking yourself off. But I'm going to use it because it's funny.
Big conspiracy that all these massive YouTubers are still friends with Zaptai behind his back.
Yes, the raid link.
He also believed the baseless accusation that Slazzo apparently didn't take 2 weeks to craft a response and instead wanted to be dramatic and make it look like he was planning a careful response. This makes absolutely no sense and probably would have hindered Slazzo more than helping him. Very weird things to lie about. One of the more interesting parts of Alex's ramble was the fact that he told us he wanted out of Shay's confession and ended up leaving their group 2 weeks in after his initial draft for Shay's Twitlonger was rejected in favor of a final draft he said had been written by Hyojin. Alex said to us that he specifically didn't agree with the use of jokes when the Twitlonger came out, but he decided to tweet it out anyways because he genuinely believes Slazzo was a rapist.
First of all, I already knew that some of the screenshots that were used in Shay's Twitlonger were jokes. I was very much aware of that, but I never had an issue with that, and I want to make that clear.
When questioned on whether he believed Slazzo was a rapist, he answered immediately yes, but when we asked him if he believed 100%, he couldn't answer. I followed up with asking that if he's not 100% sure, is that really enough to ruin a man's career? And he couldn't really answer that either. This makes absolutely no sense to me on why he would openly support a doomed plan. However, he later came out confirming to Twitter that he knew the jokes were included and doubled down even after Slazzo easily disputed the allegations. Instead of explaining why he decided to support and later double down on these allegations, he kept repeating, because I think he's creepy, or because I think he did it. Instead, he began to shift the blame to Shay and her friends.
Shay may also be innocent and may have hid stuff and used jokes to try and maybe push a certain agenda, but at the same time, the stuff that Michael admitted to is stuff that makes me not want to be friends with somebody who is capable of doing that.
To the John Wick of commentary channels, Nicholas DeOrio.
Yes, we got it! Oh man, I just need to download it.
Those things, even the things he admitted to.
But before we get into these claims specifically, let's introduce the players. The players Alex mentioned straight away were involved some way, shape, or form with this. So the parties that have been involved are Dolan Dark, Shay, Pyro Cynical, ImAllexx, Hyojin, Shay's current boyfriend, King Annie, Blues Danks, Weasterner, and Unicorn Powers. Turkey Tom also found out that Quite had been involved at some point as well. Now, Alex tells me that his draft for the TwitLonger...
And also, need we forget who's making this video?
To the John Wick of commentary channels, DeOrio.
was not used, and he left for approximately 2 weeks, only to read the final draft when it was posted and supported it anyway.
Thank you, Dr.
He told me that
A.
Hyojin wrote the final draft, and she was malicious. Alex stated that she cared more about Slazzo losing subscribers than even Shay did, and when I asked why, he told me a few surprising details. For one, Alex said this
commentary channels, DeOrio.
Okay, we got it, we got it, we got it.
The John Wick of commentary channels,
yes!
DeOrio.
Based.
group of friends often looks past allegations of sexual
Thank
assault,
you.
so he wondered why they all went so hard on this one. When I asked if it was a competition thing, Alex responded saying that Slazzo's main channel hadn't seen many uploads recently, but his Reddit channel is pulling in approximately $34,000 per month, and that is a very specific number. One that has been on my mind all week. Who just knows that? Naturally, I replied back to Alex questioning this and saying that it sounded like a red flag, but he insisted he still believes the allegations are true.
We don't like Slazzo. We don't like him. He makes the worst Reddit videos. We make the best ones.
According to Dull and Dark, a few friends in the group knew about these allegations over a year ago and told no one until it was decided that mutual should be told. This means for an entire year, a man that they believed was a rapist was allowed to see girls, attend conventions, and socialize freely without any intervention. This strikes me as odd. It is mind-boggling to me that people who thought these allegations were true would allow him to attend Insomnia this year without warning anyone, while there were fans in attendance. Alex told us that a group approached Slazzo during PAX 2018 and told him, quote-unquote, stop raping people. They thought that would have apparently handled it. If that doesn't tell you that these people do not belong in the position they put themselves in, these people should not be holding allegations over somebody's head like this, I don't know what does. They're not fit to do this. But Alex said he wrote a super long TwitLonger that could have set the record straight. But at the last second, he decided not to post it and instead decided to wait and see how it continued to play out while the internet has been demanding a response from him. So let's try to wrap our heads around this. Alex wants us to believe that Shay and her friends are unreliable narrators because their motives can be called into question, and they're just bad people. Okay, but he also wants us to believe that Slazzo is a rapist. The only person's word Alex wants us to trust is his own. That literally makes no fucking sense. So everyone's the bad guy except for you? That's the story you're telling. Next, Alex begun to tell the next round of sexual assault allegations that Shay and friends were planning on releasing. And it was at this point where I completely checked out. He sat there and justified these absurd allegations of people who have yet to come forward to me, and they were all completely crazy. Alex told me that these allegations were prepared and ready to come out. However, the group accusing Slazzo of sexual assault, let me just remind you, had chosen to go on holiday and wouldn't be ready to release them until 2 weeks after that call. That's one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard in my entire life. So I said, fuck it. I decided to do what none of these people could do, and that is, of course, talk to Slazzo.
Yes, because of course. Who would do that except
the John Wick of commentary channels, DeOrio.
Face and ask him if these allegations are factual. Allegation 1 comes from Dull and Dark. A direct quote reads, she was reached out to by a few girls that had also dealt with Slazzo. I think most of the
why am I've forgotten why I'm watching this. Dude, what? I was supposed to be watching this just to find out about this claim that Alex was making up rumours. Have I missed it? Because I've been fucking around with this clip for too long.
The John Wick of commentary channels,
thank you, Dr. A.
DeOrio.
Actions were mild, you know, exchanging nudes and stuff, even though Slazzo said in his video that he would never abuse his power or send nudes to fans, etc., etc. So my question to you is, a few girls have come forward implying that you had sent or requested nudes. Is this true?
I've never sent any, but yeah, I said I would never abuse my power, and that's absolutely true. I've received...
Okay, Slazzo doesn't look like a groomer. Okay, but a groomer doesn't look a certain way. A groomer could be anyone, okay? So don't get it twisted. Otherwise, you may get groomed. Anyway, listen. Where's the timestamp of this Alex thing, dude? Because I got distracted. I need to toilet again.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
Thank you very much for the $2. Appreciate it.
This was after a considerable time talking to these people, and
ChudLogic is the Joffrey Baratheon of commentary channels.
Oh, is that person from Game of Thrones? The kid or something? No, I'm fine. Listen, I don't know, man. I've got a bit lost with this. I've just been fucking around for hours. I feel like it's been fucking around for hours and hours now. Okay, we'll do this. Apparently it's a bit longer, and then I'll take a quick break again, and then we'll get into the allegations against Alex.
It was never, oh, look, there's a fan, ask them for nudes. You know, it was never an abuse of power, I guess. If that answers the question. I don't know if it does.
Sorry to step on your interview.
I don't know. I don't count, but probably like 2 or 3.
So it happened quite a few times if you lost count.
I don't generally count these things, you know. I don't remember what I had for dinner last night. Like,
he's a good-looking guy, Clown. You know.
Yeah. Is it wrong to request nudes from a girl?
Is this no? I don't think so.
I don't think it is either, to be honest. I don't think it's wrong to request nudes from a girl.
In England, it is because everybody's a candy ass.
I didn't fucking say it was, and I'm
Tommy's here too.
Never from stan accounts or anything, which is what Shay seemed to be implying that I would do. Like people with profile pictures that is my face, I would never fucking engage with them because there is obviously such an obvious power dynamic.
So they weren't direct fans. Like, were they fans rather than not those type of fans?
Well, I think they were fans in that they had like seen my channel and that they knew of my videos, but they were never like fucking people with Instagram accounts with my face, you know.
Yeah, no, they came to you because they were fans of you, not these Instagram fan accounts with your face, but fans of you. You corresponded with them over an X amount of period of time, and then eventually a kind of friendship, relationship, online relationship develops, and they send you these nudes. Do you request the nudes, or do they just send them because they're expected to send them, or is it different in each case?
Is it something
I think it's a bit different in each case.
Before you receive the nudes from these people, not that this is an allegation against, well, it is an allegation against you, just not a fair one. Did you know?
I do make sure they're of age, yes.
Yes. You did. In every case.
Yeah.
Allegation number 2 comes directly from ImAllexx, where Alex claims that you had been rough and forceful with a girl while staying with him. He claimed you were completely sober and forcefully getting this woman drunk. Allegedly, Alex had to step in and remove the girl from the situation as you begun kissing and sent her home in an Uber. Alex also claimed he told you, "We don't do that shit around here, man," and bullied you for the next few days.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so yeah, this was really confusing to hear, honestly. This is a complete embellishment of what happened. So basically,
bro, so okay, so Alex, God, it gets worse and worse with this Alex guy. So he told stories that he then embellished to make it sound worse. And because of everything that had happened, people believed what Alex was saying about a situation, right? God, it's so disgusting, man. That's shocking. Yeah, so it wasn't even the girl that came out of this. He was doing this. He was taking situations and twisting them to make them look worse. And then putting them out there, which led to further issues against him. Because obviously people just believed that Alex would be telling the truth about it, right? Fuck me. Oh, to Nick and the Call. Oh, I see. Right, okay. Was it to Nick and the Call? I thought it was publicly. Okay, what could be wrong about that?
What?
Alex had to staying with number 2.
This is an allegation against, well, it is an allegation against you, just not a fair one. Did you know?
I do make sure they're of age, yes.
Yes. You did. In every case.
Yep.
Allegation number 2 comes directly from ImAllexx, where Alex claims that you had been rough and forceful with a girl while staying with him. He claimed you were completely sober and forcefully getting this woman drunk. Allegedly, Alex had to step in and remove the girl from the situation as you begun kissing and sent her home in an Uber. Alex also claimed he told you, "We don't do that shit around here, man," and bullied you for the next few days.
I see. So that was what they said to Nick in this call. It's still fucked up, but yeah. Anyway, I'm getting confused, okay?
Yes.
Anyway, okay. I think I understand. I understand the point that we're trying to make in watching this, okay? And that was certainly a fantastic way of presenting it from
the John Wick of commentary channels, Nicholas DeOrio.
Okay, let me take a very quick break, okay? And then I'll be back and we'll look at the rapes, okay? Nicholas normally is working at this time. I mean, obviously I don't mind talking to him, but I think he's working. I don't need to talk to him anyway. We're fine. We got what we wanted, okay? I understand. Right, let me take a quick break and then we're going to refocus and we're going to get into the actual meat and potatoes that we're here for, okay? Too much fucking around, okay? I'm sick of it.